Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to the Bet Goodwin Oxford Stadium here as we welcome you for the Cheetahs against the Plymouth Gladiators this evening in the BSN series. The BSN series is really hotting up. This is the southern group. Obviously there's Plymouth, Oxford and Poole in this group. At the moment Poole are sat top of the tree, they're doing very well. Oxford have got an extra meeting tonight. If they win this tonight against Plymouth, they can and take the aggregate point, they will go to the top of the group. But likewise, Plymouth have struggled a tiny bit, but they did beat Poole the other evening. And if they can win tonight and they can take the aggregate point, they too can jump to the top, probably just for a short period of time. But the battle, of course, is not just for that top spot, it's to be the best second place team across all three groups. So there's plenty to ride for tonight. We've got an absolutely glorious day here. It's made track prep difficult because we're trying to get as much water as we possibly can into the track. And just while I'm stood on the surface here, we can see there is moisture in the surface, but every time they go round, it's pretty much drying up as soon as they get the water down. So Jamie and Wayne, they've been around and around trying to get as much into the surface as they can, and they'll probably continue to do that until tape's up. So what we'll do is we'll just take a wander over into the pits. We'll try and grab a quick interview with both the team managers, Garry May for Plymouth and Peter Schroeck for Oxford, and just get their take on this evening, how they're looking. Plymouth have got a couple of rider changes which we can talk to Garry May about, but I can see Peter Schroeck, so let's grab Peter straight away. Peter, put your bike down. You can have a go later. You can have a go later. How are you, my good man?
Yeah, good, thank you very much.
Busy as always?
Yeah, I've been busy. I've been to Plymouth yesterday as well, see the kids, you know, and got them through there. So, yeah, have car wheel travel by the looks of it.
And let's go there straight away. Luke Killeen, delighted for him. Great night.
Yeah, had a great night, you know. I was a bit worried at the end when he had a couple of crashes sort of thing. Oh, here we go, you know, but he got through it and he won the meeting, so I was really pleased about that. But mainly it was, you know, let's qualify, you know, never mind about winning, but the win was obviously a bonus.
And in terms of qualification, Senna Summers, really disappointed for him, but so much confusion around whether he was in or out.
Yeah, there is still a little bit going on sort of thing, and unfortunately we have to take that one on the chin, and that was not his fault, you know. He has been told that he was through it and suddenly he wasn't. So it was a little bit of a fault of the hierarchies, as you call it, but we're not going to make a big fuss about it. It is what it is, and you know, and we go again.
Yeah, and the other boys as well. Ashton was unlucky.
Yeah, Ashton was unlucky. I mean, it's not one of his favourite places and the way he rides, you know, but he had a couple of good rides, and then obviously he took off in that one of them, and so he probably could have done a little bit better, but he's in one piece, which is important, and he's riding at King's Lynn tonight, so I'm sure he's going to be okay.
Yeah, with Jody as well, it was a good night for the Chargers. Let's look Cheetahs tonight. It's hotting up the BSN series group. Poole are obviously sat at the top at the moment, but a win tonight sets you up perfectly for that away leg next week.
Yeah, that's the plan. You know, that's the plan. Our plan is always to win all our home matches, you know, and then whatever else comes is a bonus. So we're just going to focus on that tonight, try and get a good win here, and then it gives us something to go down to Poole, and hopefully you never know what's going to happen down there, you know. So, you know, so the boys are all in good spirit, and yeah, and see where we get to at the end.
We can't take Plymouth lightly at all. They did incredibly well to beat Poole the other night, especially without Ben Barker, and they've got R&R for Ben tonight, and obviously Bomber at number one.
Yeah, of course, you know, and but Bomber can only take one of those rides, you know, and I've got Sam Masters, you know. This is what this league is all about, you know, so it doesn't matter who comes here. We're going to do work. We wish them well, you know, but hopefully not too well. We're going to get stuck in, do what we do, and it's our home track, and I expect our boys to make sure that we're going to dominate. Fantastic,
Peter, top man. We'll let you crack on. We'll let you get back on your bike.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you in a minute. We'll just have a wander up to the away end of the pit. So see if we can see Garry May. Garry did wander in earlier on. Now there's we're still waiting on a couple of bikes and a couple of riders for the away side. I can see Garry actually. Let's go and grab him quickly. He won't be expecting me just yet, but we will. This is a collective gathering of all the officials, and I'm going to quickly muscle my way in. Christina, can I steal Garry for 2 seconds? Thank you, Garry. 2 seconds, my good man. Garry, nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm good. I'm good.
All set and ready for this one tonight?
Yeah, I'm ready. You know, we had a good win on Saturday.
Cracking
really
win.
Good, and you know, we'll see what happens tonight. You know, I mean, we got Chris Harris in for Nicola, who's riding in Denmark. Ben Barker got injured, as you probably saw, so we run our arm, but we give it our best shot, like we always do.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the story with Ben? Is it a long-term thing, or?
No, I think it's just a matter of resting and missing probably tomorrow, and then he'll be fit for the Glasgow meeting. That's what's, you know, at home on BSN day, I think, a couple of weeks time. So yeah.
And you're still in this, you know. You get a win tonight, and if you can take the aggregate point tonight as well, you could be looking for that second spot at least, wouldn't you?
Well, we'll be after it, you know. I mean, we'll do our best. That's all we can do, you know, and we'll try.
And just a word on the new boys that you've got in the side. You know, it was really good to see that win for you guys at home against Paul the other day. Everyone's settling in. You're getting really good bonding with the side. Yeah,
everyone's doing well. You know, Lasse come in. He's only done one meeting. We had to use Zane Kennedy, who's done a fabulous job for us on Saturday. You know, Lasse got 12, 13 points there the week before against Oxford. So I think he likes the track. It's just Mitchell at the moment. He's got bike issues and everything. You know what I mean? And hopefully he's spent a load of money out, and hopefully he'll get it sorted. You know what I mean? But other than that, I think all the boys are okay.
Gary, awesome, mate. Have a terrific evening. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Top man. Brilliant, there we go. There's the view from both the team managers. Let's have a wander down. We'll see if we can't just grab a rider or two quickly. If anyone's free and willing to have a quick chat with us. So in about 10-15 minutes, these pits are absolutely mobbed with with supporters and fans. Everybody can make their way into the pits tonight. Yeah, let's keep wandering. We'll see if we can get a word with Cam maybe. Cam, can I grab you for 2 seconds? Not literally, of course. Go for it. How you doing, buddy? You okay?
Good, mate. Good.
Good. All set for tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Everything seems all good, so happy days.
So BSN series, you know, we want to get a victory. We want the Cheetahs to win a trophy this season. This is as good an opportunity as any.
100%, mate. That's all we want. We need some silverware, so yeah, we'll get after it tonight, get the win tonight, and see what happens. And
how are you finding it? Because obviously last season you rode mostly at number 2, partnering Sam. You've dropped down the order a little bit into the main heat leader position. Do you feel a bit more pressure with that, or not necessarily?
Yeah, but I feel like I probably needed it.
You're good enough for it?
Yeah, exactly. I know that, you know, I need to be in the top 1 and 5, you know, regardless where I am. So, yeah, we're on our way back to getting back to where I need to be. I've still got a bit to go, but we're working at it, mate, and things look reasonably positive at the moment, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Is the goal of the aspiration still to get a PL spot and get up in that top league and double up?
Yeah, eventually, but you know, I kind of took a step back from that and just wanted to get back to enjoying Speedway again, because a few years there, I was really done with it, mate, to be honest, and it's taken a lot to get back to just enjoy my Speedway, and you know, I feel like like the last 2 years have been quite enjoyable. So, well, last year and this year, you know, I've been kind of where I want to be and scoring where you know, throughout the year as a whole. I feel like I've, you know, been doing what I wanted to do, and just, yeah, it's, like I said to my mechanic, you know, both of my mechanics I've worked very hard with for the last 2 years. Like, we're just going to take it slow and just make sure that the whole time that we're doing it, we're enjoying it. Yeah. Because I lost the enjoyment out of it, and yeah. So eventually, yes, I want to be back there. Right now, no. I just don't feel ready for it yet. And when I am ready, that's when I'll do it.
You'll jump back in. We'll just keep riding with a smile on your face and keep scoring those points.
That's it, mate. That's what we'll do.
Cheers, Cam. Legend. Thanks, buddy. Let's see if we can just grab we'll see if we can find Luke Killeen. It'd be good to talk to Luke after last night. Luke, can we borrow you for 2 seconds, mate? No. First off, congratulations on last night, man.
Thank you very
really
much.
pleased
Thank
to see that.
Cheers. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that one. Heat 19, you know, I had to show some mental strength to try and keep my focus, but yeah, got there in the end.
Was you swearing inside the lid?
When that red flag came out, I might have been, yes, but I wasn't happy, that's for sure. I think everyone could see that. But no, I mean, the fact that they let it be rerun and there was no runoff, it's yeah, it worked out well.
And just your form overall for the Spires and the Cheetahs is good, mate. It's really good. You're growing in confidence. You can see that in your riding. Once you start to ride with, just talking to Cam, once you start to ride with a smile on your face and you've got your backup, it's so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just saying that before. You know, I think yeah, when you're enjoying it and you know you're not out there to win races necessarily. Obviously, we all want to, but if you're there for more, I don't know, enjoying riding your bike and just trying to progress, that's my main focus. Always has been since I turned up here. So, you know, just looking for that progress and, yeah, it's paying off at the moment.
Brilliant, mate. We'll have a terrific one tonight, score a load of points for us and let's get a win.
Thank you very much. That's the plan.
Top man. Cheers, Luke. That's awesome. Wonderful. Gentlemen, I think we'll wrap that up there. We're starting to get a busy pits now. So what we'll do is we'll head back up to me and I'm up in the box now. Cheers, guys. Me handing back up to me, very weird. Good evening, everybody. We've got the Cheetahs, we've got the Gladiators, we've got a must-win for both sides here in the BSN series. We've got a beautiful day, as I've just said there, on that mini track walk and pit walk. The sun is still belting down here. There's a really, really good crowd building in. I can see the Gladiators Bar Bandits over on turn 3. So we've got some Gladiator fans up as well. So we're looking good and we're all set for a terrific meeting. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's take a look in the pits first. So we've now got 2 full pits. We didn't have 2 full pits earlier. We were waiting on a few riders here and there, but we do now have 2 fully decked out pits. And two sets of riders, having seen them and briefly spoken to a few of them earlier on, they're up for it. They're looking forward to it. They all know the importance of getting a win tonight. They all know the importance of getting a few points on the board for themselves, obviously, and they'll all be sat and looking to take those points. Jordan Jenkins has been on good form. He started the season very well for Ipswich in top flight as well as the Cheetahs. And again, smile on his face. It's good to catch up with Cam as well, and great to get Cam's thought process on, where he's at as a rider at this moment in time. But I'll tell you what, let's have a look at those Plymouth Gladiators, because they are coming here on a bit of a high, and they have no Nikolai Clint today, as Gary said, but they've got an excellent guest in Chris Harris at number 1. Alfie BOWTELL, he scored some decent points in the couple of meetings they've had so far. He's in at number 2. Mitchell Cluff, new name and a new face for a lot of us. He's in at number 3 in the side. Joe Thompson, again, Joe's form has been very good, and I think we're going to see more and more from him as the season rolls on. We've got no Ben Barker at 5, so they're going to run rider replacement, and everybody can take a ride for Ben at 5. Number 6 could be a trump card, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. We'll see how he goes from that number 6 berth. And then at number 7, Ben Trigger. Again, Ben had a very good meeting last night. He finished up on the rostrum in that under-21 qualifier as well, so he's bringing in some good form. And Garry, who we've already heard of, always the same when you interview Garry. He's always up, he's always fancying the challenge ahead, and he's always incredibly positive about what's going to happen. Here you can see Chris on his phone, a man who knows this track incredibly well. Obviously rode here last year, rode it incredibly, gave us some superb speedway last year, really attacked the track. Alfie BOWTELL. So they've made 3 changes from last year. Nicolo Cavati has gone out, Jacob Hook and Patrick Bake, they've gone out, and in has come Nicolo, who sadly isn't here today, Mitchell Cluff and Lasse FREDRIKSEN. So interesting to see how Mitchell does there, is Mitchell Cluff. Be interesting to see how he rides this place. He's got James Shanes there on the spanners, former rider James. Excellent on the grass track, James was. So yeah, Plymouth looking strong. How about the Cheetahs? Out and out number 1, outstanding Sam Masters, scored a max 15-point maximum down at Plymouth in the away leg of this one. He's at number 1. Jonas KNUDSEN, had a chat with Jonas in the pits earlier on, and he's really upbeat. He's not riding in Denmark at the moment, so he's putting all of his eggs in this basket, and yeah, he showed some good form down at Plymouth as well. Jordan Jenkins at number 3. Dan Gilkes at number 4. Now that little engine room there, they can make the difference for this side. Jordan Jenkins and Dan Gilkes, we'll see how they go tonight. Cameron Heeps, a man who wants that responsibility, wants to be a heat leader, and is really looking to step up and take that mantle on. Mitch McDermott, still early days for Mitch. Be interesting to see how he goes tonight. And then Luke Killeen, a man whose form has improved meeting on meeting over the last few weeks. He's really started to find his feet and do well. And the man at the top, Peter Schroeck, runs all the 3 sides here, as you well know. He's hoping for good things, and he's going to want to get some kind of silverware under his belt. There's the Plymouth hierarchy, Mark Phillips and Barry Bishop. So Barry more known for his Isle of Wight exploits. He's in this year helping Mark Phillips run the Gladiators. Just getting themselves prepared. Obviously, we've seen the Cheetahs already on the stream this year. Jonas could have had a maximum down at Plymouth in the first run in. Well, I say the first run in the Plymouth home leg of this meeting, which obviously Oxford won 48-41. And Jonas, apart from the fall in his first ride, would have had a complete maximum that night. There's Mitch McDermott. He scored 6+2 down at Plymouth in that meeting. Then when the Pirates came here, just having a quick scan, yeah, he only picked up a couple of points. So work to do on his new home circuit, but it is a new home circuit. So I think tapes up going to be slightly delayed tonight, and that's the reason. It is so warm here. I was talking to Wayne Hutt and Jamie Courtney. They do the track here. You can see the water on the track there. You can see what they're getting into the surface. He said that he was here at 7:15 this morning, and thinks they've put in the region of 60,000 odd gallons of water on this track today, throughout the course of the day. And just because it's so hot, as soon as it goes down, it dries up. So it's been a real challenge for them. So I think that's just the idea, is to get a bit more down before we have a parade of description. We'll see that. I think we're going to do a normal parade today. I think the riders will be over on the start line shortly. Bikes will come out. So a big shout out. Scott, Greg and Laura, they are still out pounding the beat. Talk Speedway, they're doing a walk Speedway. They're doing a charity walk for the Speed Riders Benevolent Fund. You can scan that barcode there, grab your phone, scan that, it will take you through to the page where you can donate. They're raising money. They're walking from Berwick to Redcar, you can see on the screens. It's over 100 miles. It's a wonderful effort from those guys. All culminates at the end of this week. But yeah, if you scan that barcode, you can give a couple of quid. All of it goes towards helping injured riders. We all know what the Speed Riders Benevolent Fund does for riders that have picked up injuries, and what it does is it continues to support riders even after they finish their racing. So the older riders, some of the guys that are in wheelchairs now, they still receive that support from the Benevolent Riders Fund. So whatever you can give is gratefully received. But yeah, Scott, Greg and Laura, well done. Congratulations on what you're doing. Wonderful effort. And continue to pound that beat. And Laura will obviously be back with us soon. We had Laura on screen a couple of weeks ago. She did excellent in the pits. She'll be back with us once this walk is over. So good on those guys. So if you're new to the stream tonight, thank you for joining us. If you're a regular Oxford fan, welcome back. So it was easy to get to the meeting, especially for Plymouth. You might not have been able to get up for today's meeting, so thanks for buying the stream. It is copyrighted, it is Oxford stream, so please don't watch it on anywhere that shouldn't be. Buy the stream, support the stream, you're supporting Oxford, you're supporting Speedway as a whole, and we appreciate you doing so. So thank you for tuning in. And if you're just a Speedway fan who fancied a fix this evening, welcome. We hope we can get you 15 heats of wonderful Speedway. If it goes to a draw at the end of tonight, obviously we'll have a super heat as Oxford versus Poole. That went to a super heat. And if the aggregate, so it's 48-41 down at Plymouth in the first leg, we have an aggregate point again. So if Plymouth were to win by 48-41 tonight, and it was even overall, we would get another super heat for that as well. So we could end up with a couple of super heats. We shall see. Or it might be one that covers the two, thinking about it. I've not seen that scenario yet, but I think they have one super heat that covers the meeting and the aggregate overall. So there you can see the track. A couple of the mechanics there walking out into the circuit. You can see the water that they've now got onto the surface. But it's so hot here. The sun is just starting to drop down a little bit, but it is so incredibly warm that as soon as that water goes down, whoosh, it's dried up again. But they can't have done any more than they've done today. And I tell you, the track is grippier than I've seen it this season, I think. I'm lucky enough to have been at all the meetings here this season and done a track walk at all of them. Jamie is the man that does everything within his power to get it right. It's a thankless task sometimes, but it's a sterling job. But yes, the track definitely does look a little bit grippier this evening. One Chris Harris might enjoy that. It might work against the home side. So these sides met a couple of times last year. Over the course of the season, they had one in the BSN series, and then they had one obviously in the league as well. And it was 46-44 in the BSN series last season. It was a really close meeting. Sam Masters got a maximum in that one last year, as did Scott Nichols. Oh no, Scott scored 17, he hit the maximum. He dropped a couple of points, but yeah, he scored paid 17 points. And Dan Thompson and Joe Thompson, actually, they picked up 10 and 11 for the away side last year. So it was a close one in the BSN series here last year. And in the league, it was 51-39 to Oxford. So a bit more of a gap in that one. But again, Dan Thompson scored 15. Joe Thompson scored 8, so they were top scorers on both occasions. No Ben Barker tonight. How much of a difference will that make? As the meeting ticks by, I do like to just keep a note on what the boys score for Ben's rider replacement rides. So I'll keep you up to speed on that one. But yeah, they had a couple of close meetings here last year. So we'll be hoping it's the same again. We like a close meeting, some close racing. We are Oxford TV, but we just do like to see good speedway, some nice close action. Nobody wants to see a 60-30. especially if you're paying the riders' wages. So the bikes are pretty much all out now, ready for the parade. The riders are starting to line up. So the BSN series has 3 groups. This is the southern group. In those 3 groups, the winners of each group, they progress straight through to the semi-finals, and then the best placed second place team over the 3 groups, they also make the semi-finals. So even if you haven't got a shot at winning, which I don't think Plymouth do, because Oxford and Poole have still yet to race each other, they could still, with a win and an aggregate point tonight, look to get the best place second place, because it's earlier days in a couple of the other groups. But yeah, really competitive and a great trophy to win. The BSN series added a couple of years ago. Poole have enjoyed winning this on the first 2 occasions. Cleaned up last year, obviously, Poole. Oxford and Plymouth will be hoping that they can end that run. Pick up that silverware this season. Toaster tapes up here. The riders will come out. Quick introduction to the crowd. We're probably going to start, maybe 10 minutes later than expected. Christina Turnbull, she's our referee this evening. She'll be on the button. Not sure if you can hear the countdown, but the countdown has sounded. The riders are going to be out. Feels like the season's been ticking for a little while now, but it's still very early days for both of these sides. They've only ridden a couple of meetings, really. I know a lot of the boys are racing elsewhere, so some of them will have had more track time than others. But yeah, early days for both of these teams. And just a quick look at the results in the BSN series so far. It was Plymouth 41, Oxford 48 in the meeting of these two. Plymouth went to Poole and got beat 58-32. No disgrace there. I think Poole are going to turn a lot of teams over there at Wimbledon Road this year. But when Poole went back to the Coliseum, it was 46-44 to Plymouth, so they did lower the colours of Poole, which is a feather in their cap and a good morale booster for them, especially considering they lost Ben Barker. I'm not sure if you caught our cameraman Rob's excellent work from the centre green down at Plymouth as Ben went in deep and caught up the fence and ended up going over the top. But yeah, he only had 2 rides that meeting, so for Plymouth to still take the win against Poole is testimony to Joe Thompson scored 14+1 that night, Alfie BOWTELL 7+3, Ben Trigger 7+2, so riders really stepped up. And in the other fixture that we've had in the BSN series in this group, it was 45 points apiece here. Oxford looked to have had the victory against Poole, but as Poole never give up, they dug in the last couple of heats. They managed to bring it back to 45 all, and then they took the extra point in the bonus in the super heat. So it was a really good turnaround for Poole that night. Sam Masters was unbeaten until 15. Jordan Jenkins had 8. Luke Killeen had 9. Luke's really starting to grow into the rider that many expected him to be, especially at this level. I think the Premiership with the Spires is still a big jump for him, and he's learning, but he is improving all the time there. But at this level, I think now he's starting to really dial in, and he's going to be a very, very handy rider for the Cheetahs this season. So sides are lined up. We're just having a quick chat with the 2 captains, and in a moment I'll just go quiet and lose the earphones and see if I can look and see who wins the toss. So the Alfie BOWTELL taking the captaincy tonight as Ben Barker isn't here. Experienced rider Alfie. This is his 4th year, I think, with Plymouth now. He's had a couple of spells. He had a year at Birmingham in between. A couple of 2-year spells. Essex-born rider. And there's the Sam Masters. Took over the captaincy from Scott Nichols. And he's smashing it. Seen a couple of excellent rides of him team riding, looking over his shoulder, keeping an eye on teammates. And leading by example with some big scores. So let's see how the coin toss goes. So 2 and 4 in heat number 1. Plymouth. Alfie BOWTELL wins the toss, takes 2 and 4. In heat number 1, which means it will obviously flick round towards Oxford at the back end of the meeting. And they'll get choice in 15. But it will be 2 and 4. Which means they get 2 and 4 in the opening 2 rides. It was interesting, Luke Killeen, if you tuned in and listened and watched the Chargers on Sunday, I was lucky enough to have Luke Killeen on comms with me, and it was great insight from Luke. He was awesome on the comms, first time he'd done it. But he was saying about the coin toss and saying, you know, if you defer to 15, so I'm just filling in my programmes ago. Yeah, he said if you defer to 15, you essentially know what the gates are going to deliver. At the beginning, it's a bit of a lottery. You don't know whether 1 and 3 is going to be prominent, 2 and 4. But as it flicks to the back end of the meeting, you've got a better understanding of what gates are going to provide what. So yeah, very interesting. So there's our Gladiators. There's our Cheetahs. Killeen won that qualifier last night at Plymouth. Very popular figure here. Top guy. Mitch McDermott. Rider we're still learning about. Did okay in the senior Aussie champs. Cam Heeps, Dan Gilkes and Jordan Jenkins, they did so well against Scunthorpe in that opening meeting here. They racked up 5-1 after 5-1. And then when it came to the Plymouth end, when it came to Paul visiting, it was a different story. They didn't quite get it their own way. So it'll be interesting to see that little engine room of the team. Jordan Jenkins and Dan Gilkes on one side of the pits, and Mitchell Cluff and Joe Thompson on the other. It could be a real game-changing pairing, depending on how those guys go. So the boys get opportunity to put a couple of starts in. Just test the clutch, get a feel for the bike. I wouldn't necessarily say it was 2 full-on laps. But they do get to do a couple of laps of the track, put in a couple of starts. Some tracks do it that you have to, you don't get to wear your helmet, and if you don't get to wear your helmet, it's essentially just a smile and wave parade lap to the crowd, where you don't get a feel for the circuit. Whereas here, the riders get to don the helmet, which means they can put in some starts, they can pull a wheelie, they can do all the things they want to do on the bike, rather than smile and wave. So it's a bit of a different. I was talking to Jamie Courtney last meeting, and we were saying about this parade lap. Was there any legs? And it's something I've thought about a little bit before as well. Is there any legs in riders essentially getting 2 full laps? So you could have both the 1s out, then both the 2s out, the 3s, the 4s. They all get a couple of laps of the track. The track essentially gets a couple of races in a very short period to bed in. The riders get a feel for the track. That's just an idea I had. It's good for the crowd. They get to see a little bit more of bike on track. Which at the end of the day is why we're all here. But hey, just my own ideas. So we won't be long before we're out for Heat 1, and we're going to see Sam Masters against Chris Harris in Heat 1. 2 of the top riders in this league at this level. Both have scored maximums and destroyed the opposition round here. The dynamite duo last year of Sam Masters and Cameron Heeps. I worked it out. I haven't written it down for tonight. I'm sure I mentioned it on a stream that we've had. I think they scored 18 or 19 5-1s here last season across all competitions, which is an amazing partnership. Talk about the Turbo twins at Poole, Chris Holder and Darcy Ward back in the day. Those 2 boys here last year were phenomenal. Obviously, Cam's now dropped down to 5, so they do pair up in 13 and potentially 15. Sam's trying to get that relationship with Jonas, and they've started very well. Jonas has started well here. A really likeable character. Just saying he's in a bit of a tricky position in Denmark at the minute. Doesn't have a club. I often find that quite weird that a young rider like that, you know, lots of potential, hasn't got a ride in his own country. So he's essentially open for guest bookings the way it works in Denmark. If you don't sign for anybody, you're open for guest bookings and you can guest for anybody, and he's just hoping that an opportunity comes up. He wants to score well for Oxford. And now that the season starts to kick in and he gets more regular racing, hopefully he gets that opportunity. And you can see across the bottom of the screen all of our socials here at Oxford. Keep tabs on what we're doing, where we are, who's doing what. We've got the 3 teams here, as you well know. I just get the feeling Chris Harris might like this track tonight. There's plenty of grip. Really got fresh material on. You know, he does like getting out in that deep stuff. So Christina, TURNBULL, our referee, she's got the 2 minutes on already. So again, I doubt I'm preaching to the, I think I'm preaching to the converted pretty much, but if there is anybody new to Speedway, the referee puts 2 minutes on. The rider's got 2 minutes to get from the pits round to the starting tapes. Dan Gilkes, as a visiting Leicester line the other day, was very close to missing that, but literally rolled in with a second to go. Pulled the clutch in, tapes went up and away he went. So they do get 2 minutes. And then we'll have 4 laps. 60 seconds give or take. No break, full throttle Speedway. 3, 2, 1, 0 is the points for your finishing position. Any tape offences, the managers can either remove the rider or put them off a 15. And we hope the 4 riders on track give us a show. That's essentially what we're here for tonight. And here is heat number 1, sponsored by Bet Goodwin. Jonas KNUDSEN, he's going to be off the inside in blue for Oxford. Next to him in yellow will be Alfie BOWTELL, standing captain for Plymouth. Sam Masters red off of gate number 3, and Chris Harris white off of gate number 4. Guesting tonight for Nikolai Clint. What a fantastic guest to bring in. He's going to be riding at number 1 for the Plymouth Gladiators. Star Marshal's job to bring them in, and we can see the sun-drenched crowd. There they are, phones out, pint or a coffee in hand. Here we go, BSN Series Speedway, Oxford, Plymouth, heat number 1. And we're off, and the action starts, and Jonas KNUDSEN's made a great gate, and that's really tight going in there. And the one person that's going to be frustrated by that is Jonas KNUDSEN, because he's made a fantastic start. But it was very tight going in there, and Sam Masters just ended up a bit of the meat in the sandwich between the Gladiators. Nowhere to go. Down he came. There's our, again, sun-drenched replay. Just keep an eye on Sam in red. Jonas has made a great gate off of 1. But just in there, look, that's really tight. And yeah, a little bit of contact from the back, where the handlebars and the back mudguard of Alfie BOWTELL and Sam Masters. That'll be first bend bunching. That'll be a rerun with all 3. 4, should I say? And we'll look to go again. But yeah, Jonas made a great gate. He really popped out the start from gate number 1. Sam's all right. It was frustrating when you built yourself up, you've made a worldie of a start, as Jonas did there. And unfortunately it gets called back. I don't want to give it the commentator's curse, but on so many occasions you do see the rerun, and whoever made a lightning start in the first run-in doesn't always do it, but Jonas will. Jonas will. Although not for the Plymouth fans watching. Yeah, he's made a great gate there. And it just got a bit tight. Sam can't go full ball there because it's really tight. He's got Alfie on the inside, he's got Chris on the outside. A little bit of contact, and down he went. Seen it a million times, we'll see it a million times more. Thankfully he's okay, he's back up. Just a quick clean off there. 2 or 3 mechanics helping. Neil Levitt's there, mechanicking for Sam Masters. Former British champion, of course, Neil there on the left. Wonderful ride, and Paul Hurry on the right. So we've got plenty of Speedway experience helping you there, Sam. Plenty of riders that know the drill, rode for their country. He was obviously British champ. Halifax and Bradford. Wonderful rider for them. enjoys putting a few laps in a go-kart these days. So we'll look to go again. Christina hasn't turned the 2 minutes on just yet. Just giving Sam that little bit of extra time, but the riders are ready. I imagine they'll be off around before the 2 minutes comes on. There it is. There's the you can hear that klaxon. There's a klaxon. There we are. 2 minutes of counting down. And we'll get going again. Oxford fans will be hoping Jonas can do the same thing and pop out the start. Plymouth fans will be hoping that he doesn't. Looked like it could develop into a good race because Bomber did make the gate off of 4 as well, and he was looking around the outside of Jonas in that first turn. Rerun off heat number 1. Jonas KNUDSEN off the inside in blue. Alfie BOWTELL off of gate 2 in yellow. Sam Masters red, gate 3. Chris Harris white off of gate number 4. Plymouth won the toss and decided to take gates 2 and 4. So they'll get them for the first and second heat. Bet Goodwin, they're our sponsors of heat number 1. They get 2 shout outs, we get 2 run-in. Good crowd there on the home straight, and there you can also see them on the bend, turn 4. Start Marshall, his job is to get the riders in. I often wonder whether they pay him much attention, but that's what he's there for. He lines them up, makes sure they're within their pit, within their starting lines. And if the 2 riders are close, like they are here, look, Alfie and Sam, he's got to step into Perkins. Here we go, rerun of heat number 1. Tapes up and away we go. And Jonas has got there first again, and it looks like Sam might join him. But keep an eye on Chris Harris up the inside of his teammate Alfie BOWTELL into second place. But as we speak, Sam Masters is out front. Jonas KNUDSEN second. Chris Harris in third. Alfie BOWTELL in fourth. Keep an eye on Chris Harris. He'll work the inside. He'll try and make a nice long back straight. Did plenty of laps around here last year. Knows how to ride this place. Jonas is going to have his work cut out. Difficult for Sam Masters, whether to drop back and support Jonas or just to get his head down and go. Yeah, Jonas just drifting across from inside to outside, but gets his wheels in line. He's keeping plenty of speed. Sam's out front. Jonas is holding on to second, but Chris Harris is working all over the back of Jonas KNUDSEN in third place. He's gone in a little bit deeper. Watch him straighten up. Round the outside. Will he get the run, Chris Harris? He's going to go big, last 2 turns. Can he get round the outside of Jonas KNUDSEN into second place? Whoa, Jonas tough there, shuts the door. Sam Masters takes the win. Jonas KNUDSEN rode superbly to hold on for that second place. And just at the pivotal moment moved across the line off Chris Harris to stop Chris's run around turn 4. Holding on to that second place. Great start for the home side. Sam and Jonas happy with that. Bit of pyrotechnics on the centre green. And there we have it. Cheetahs fans really happy with that. Sam Masters takes the win from teammate Jonas KNUDSEN. Chris Harris tries he might, just could not get up to challenge Jonas. And Alfie BOWTELL just tailed off a little bit at the back. 5-1 to the home side after heat number 1. That extends the aggregate lead to 53.42, which you can also see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. We'll keep you updating that as the meeting goes on. So Jonas, he made the gate not as clean and crisp as he did the first time around, but he still got to that first turn first. Alfie BOWTELL couldn't get over the top of him, but Sam Masters, he did get over the top of Alfie. Chris rode a nice inside line to get up inside his teammate. And to be fair, Sam wasn't a million miles away from Jonas and Chris in second and third. But like we were saying, it's difficult, you know, stick or twist. You stay and try and support your teammate in that tough, tight race, or do you just get your head down? I imagine the early remit is to get your head down and get the points in, and almost fend for yourselves a little bit. But Jonas did brilliantly to hold Chris Harris off and take second place. So riders already out for heat number 2. This is what heat number 2 looks like. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, he'll be off the inside for Plymouth in the white helmet colour. Mitch McDermott, he's in red off of gate number 2 for Oxford. Ben Trigger, yellow off of gate number 3 for Plymouth. And Luke Killeen in blue off of the outside for Oxford. Keith Cook Construction, there are sponsors of heat number 2. And it's a heat number 2 where we see what these reserves have got about them tonight. They can take up to 7 rides over the course of a meeting, the reserves. So if you've got a trump card, somebody that's on fire, on form, you can use them time and again. Oh, bit of helicopter. I think that's the local hospital helicopter, I think. Almost going as fast as one of these speedway bikes. Right, heat number 2. 30 seconds and counting from our referee. Plymouth will be looking to hit back. Mitch McDermott, Luke Killeen, they'll be looking to hammer home another advantage. Again, Start Marshall earning his chips tonight, trying to get the riders in. Here we go then, heat number 2. Mitch McDermott, Luke Killeen, Lasse FREDRIKSEN, Ben Trigger. Tapes go up and it's a flyer from Mitch McDermott off for 2. And will Luke Killeen join him round the outside of Lasse FREDRIKSEN? Yes, he does. The Cheetahs are in a 5-1 position again. Is this race going to pan out same as last time? Will Luke Killeen be able to pull away from Lasse FREDRIKSEN? He's looking up the inside, but it's a big move in. Luke Killeen, and it did move Luke over. Can Luke get his wheels in line and get back into second? Yes, he can. Really good ride from Luke Killeen. Lasse FREDRIKSEN still there up the inside. He's going to do the same thing. This will push Luke out again. Luke's going to have to either cut back or follow the run. He's looking to cut back. Is he going to get the run up the inside? Yes, he does. Luke Killeen back into second place again. But I'll tell you what, keep an eye on Lasse FREDRIKSEN as he does the same thing again. Up the inside of Luke Killeen. But Luke Killeen holds firm this time. And that might be the tale of this race. Out front, Mitch McDermott, my good man, I didn't mention you. Home and dry, Luke Killeen and Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Excellent entertainment from them two in second and third. Again, it's another 5-1, but what a wonderful race. Lasse FREDRIKSEN deserves as many plaudits as the other two for that one. Excellent heat. Luke Killeen held on wonderfully well. Mitch McDermott, yes, come and take the plaudits, my good man. So there we go, Mitch McDermott, first win around the Oxford circuit for him. He takes the win. Luke Killeen second, really hard fought second from an ever battling Lasse FREDRIKSEN, very unlucky. Another 5-1 to the Cheetahs, 10 points to 2 after a couple of races, and of course that extends that lead on aggregate even further. Wonderful heat. Mitch McDermott made the gate, got over the top of Lasse. Just keep an eye on Luke Killeen. He manages to get the run around Lasse here, but Lasse gets his wheels in line. Both go deep into the corner here. That back went on the line. And Lasse just gets to run up the inside here, and he just moves Luke over. Allows him up the inside, but Luke stays strong. Leans back over the top of Lasse, coming down the back straight. But Lasse does exactly the same thing. A nice tight line here. And actually did move Luke Killeen right over here. And you can see Luke, he's looked there, cut back. Very smart riding for such a young man. And Lasse just there, a tiny bit as he was coming down the midway point. He just lost a bit of momentum. And I think that is what allowed Luke to get back into second. But brilliant ride from them two, excellent entertainment. Again, people might be looking at the live stats if they're coming in on BSN or on Speedway updates and think, oh, another 5-1. But doesn't give you the tale of exactly what happened there. Superb Speedway. The riders make their way round 4, heat number 3. First outing for all of these guys. Dan Gilkes off the inside for Oxford in blue. Next to him, Mitchell Cluff in white. Jordan Jenkins red off of gate number 3. And Joe Thompson yellow off of gate number 4 for Plymouth. Liquid Screed, there are sponsors of heat number 3. Plymouth get gates 2 and 4 back again. We've had a winner off of 2 and a winner off of 3, so the middle gate's doing the work at the moment. But that doesn't really tell us the tale of the first two heats. Yes, it was a win for Sam Masters and a win for Mitch McDermott, but what fantastic speedway it was behind them. And Lasse FREDRIKSEN and Chris Harris deserve credit for two really, really good efforts. Okay, here we go then. Heat number 3. Liquid Screed, our sponsors. Jordan Jenkins, Dan Gilkes, Mitchell Cluff, Joe Thompson. Start marshal walks away. Up fly the tapes. Away fly the boys. Into the first turn it is Mitchell Cluff. Keep an eye on Jordan Jenkins, looking to move around the outside. Mitchell Cluff just lifts and goes across the front of him. Dan Thompson moves into third place ahead of Dan Gilkes, but does Dan Gilkes come straight back at him? No, he doesn't. Jordan Jenkins out front. Mitchell Cluff in second. Joe Thompson, sorry, just moved off the line a tiny bit there, giving Dan Gilkes just a little view up the inside of him. Dan is riding a tighter line and he's moved up the inside of Joe Thompson this time into third place. Heat advantage at the moment for the Cheetahs. Jordan Jenkins out front. Mitchell Cluff second. Dan Gilkes in third, and Joe Thompson just moved over by Dan Gilkes there, who's now really setting chase for Mitchell Cluff. He's got one lap to do it. Can Dan Gilkes get up into second for a third consecutive 5-1? He's looking quick. He's going to have to go big and deep into turns 3 and 4. He's almost gone in. He's going to have a run. He's going to get around the outside of him. Wonderful stuff from Dan Gilkes. I thought he might have just blown it. I thought he was looking a bit too close to Mitchell Cluff there coming into turn 3, but little did I know he moved out wide and got the run. And another great race, but another 5-1. But it doesn't tell us the tale of the meeting, to be honest. We've had 3 wonderful heats so far. Mitchell Cluff very unlucky. Dan enjoys that with the crowd. It's a win for Jordan Jenkins, second for Dan Gilkes. Mitchell Cluff held on to second until that last corner in third place, and Joe Thompson was in a scoring position but got picked off by Dan Gilkes as well. Another 5-1 to the Cheetahs, 15-3 the progressive score, and they're starting to pull away. And you can see Dan Gilkes, I thought he'd just ridden a little bit too close to Mitchell there, but his back wheel is out in that deep stuff, which was just lifting a little bit there. Excellent last corner from Dan Gilkes, and we've seen that a few times this season. That line there is in the incredibly hot box. It's very, very warm up here. I'm not complaining. It's a great view. It's just a tad warm. And the boys on track for heat number 4. Another winner for gate 3 there, but a great race. To be fair to the Gladiators. Trapping well and getting in the mix. There's the starting. There's gate 2 and gate 3. You can see the rut starting to develop. Always get more dirt up in the fence off gate 4, and the riders tend to start with the back wheel a bit closer to the fence. So we have a rider replacement ride in this one, and looking down there we can all see Chris Harris coming out. So Garry May playing his big card straight away, with Chris Harris coming out. Here's the rider replacement ride for Ben Barker. He'll be up against Cam Heeps, Luke Killeen, and Ben Trigger, reserved for the Gladiators. So we have had 3 5-1s. Let's see what heat number 4 delivers. Luke Killeen off the inside in blue for Oxford. Next to him, Ben Trigger, yellow for Plymouth. Cameron Heeps, first outing for him tonight. He's in red off of gate number 3. And Chris Harris, second ride for him. He'll be in white off of gate number 4. It was off of gate 4 he started in heat number 1. He's pushing all the way for second spot. I had to settle for third behind Jonas KNUDSEN, Sam Masters. Nuffield Health, they are our sponsors of heat number 4. Oh, we've got a problem here for Ben Trigger. I don't think anybody's clocked him in the pits. No, I'm looking over towards the pits now and no one is moving on the Plymouth side of it. You can see Ben. It's difficult to run in Kevlars and a steel shoe. He's only got 22 seconds here. There's absolutely no urgency. on the Plymouth side of the pits, so Ben is not going to make this. He's got 10 seconds to get back to tape. It's not going to happen. Red lights will come on. So I don't know what's happened there. I can see the start marshal just picking a few things up off the track. Whether the chains dropped or what, I don't know. Something's gone bang. Yeah, I can see the start marshal. There you go. There's the link. There's the link, and that's the problem. Unlucky for Ben Trigger. So Garry May's going to have a bit of work to do by telling Lasse to put his helmet on. We will see Lasse FREDRIKSEN coming out. So disappointing for Ben. We'll give Lasse another ride, and to be fair to Lasse, in heat number 2 he was on the pace, all over the back of Killeen. So whether the riders have been told to stay here or they've just decided to stay, I don't know, because generally situations like this the riders will go back to the pits, but not on this occasion. They've stayed at the tapes. All three looking, look at that shot. All looking and wondering what's going on, and there's going to be Lasse FREDRIKSEN coming out. There's Lasse, so he will come in for Ben Trigger. So there we go. Quick refresh, Killeen off the inside in blue, and now will be Lasse FREDRIKSEN in yellow for gate number 2. Reserve switch, Cameron Heeps in red off for gate number 3. And Chris Harris, rider replacement for Ben Barker. He'll be in white off of gate number 4. So a tricky start to Ben Trigger's evening. Failed to score in his first one. Dropping a chain at the start. Well, not even at the start. Didn't even get to the start in his second one. Does give Lasse FREDRIKSEN the opportunity to have 4 more laps. And like we were saying, he was on the gas in heat number 2, so Plymouth will be hoping he can do the same thing again. First ride for Cam Heeps. Everyone else has been on track once. We've had 3 5-1s, it's 15-3, but we've had 3 superb heats so far of entertainment, not necessarily from a Plymouth angle. Here we go then, heat number 4, and Lasse FREDRIKSEN lifts and snakes to the first turn. Chris Harris gets stopped there by Cam Heeps, but Bomber's round the outside of Killeen. He's going in really deep, and he's going to get a run all the way around Cam. That's fantastic. Round Cam Heeps, and Lasse FREDRIKSEN has moved up the inside of Killeen as well. And he's looking to make a move on Cam Heeps, who's a little bit untidy there, coming off of 2. But he's held on to it. Chris Harris, excellent first lap from him. 3rd to 1st. Lasse FREDRIKSEN is up the inside and into 2nd place under Cam Heeps. Excellent ride from him after a bit of a rodeo lifting up into the first turn. And I tell you what, Plymouth, they're going to turn a 5-1 back towards the Cheetahs, but keep an eye on Cam. He's gone in that line that Bomber used earlier on. Can he make it work? He's got 1 more lap to try and regain 2nd place. Oh, he's gone in very hard, and I think that's probably just put tail to the end of the race for him. It's going to be a win for Chris Harris. It's going to be a 2nd place for Lasse FREDRIKSEN. 3rd place for Cam Heeps. Last place for Killeen. So, a little bit of order restored from the away side. They just have a little bit of nibble back. And again, this track's providing us overtaking. It's providing us entertainment. And that time it's entertainment for the travelling Gladiators fans as Chris Harris takes the win. Lasse FREDRIKSEN from the back to 2nd for him. Cam Heeps in 3rd. He went from 1st to 3rd. And Killeen failed to get in amongst it really. So 16-8 after that 5-1 for Plymouth. And they do fire back. Bit of fire in their bellies. And you can see it from the start. So Yeah, pretty untidy from Lasse FREDRIKSEN going up into the first turn. And here we've got 5-1 for the home side, but keep an eye on Chris. Chris Harris doing what we all know he can do, wheeling that back line, lovely line around the outside of Cam Heeps. But at the same time, Lasse FREDRIKSEN came up the inside. Maybe Luke Killeen just in a tiny bit of no man's land there. And that allowed Lasse FREDRIKSEN up into second. I'll tell you what, we're going to watch this replay for, all the way through, I think, because we're probably going to take a bit of a grading break. So let's keep an eye. Fair play to Lasse as he pushes his way up inside of Cam Heeps into that second place. And again, Cam kept pushing. Lasse didn't pull away. It wasn't until turn 2 of the last lap. Just keep an eye. Cam goes in here. Oh, straightens up a little bit. Almost catches the back. Kills, scrubs off the speed. Drops back, and that was it. Big 5-1 for the away side. 3 points on the board for Ben Barker's rider replacement ride. So no heat winner off the insiders yet. A couple of wins off of gate number 3, early days, and points pretty spread across all four gates. So you can score from anywhere. We just haven't seen a race winner off of the insiders yet. There'll be plenty of work. They'll be swapping the edge on the tyre. They tend not to run 2 heats, so I think they're going to normally have a grading break there between 4 and 5, but we're not having that tonight. So the track is riding really well. It's given us excellent racing in every heat. So I think that's a really wise move from Jamie Courtney there to not do that. Chris Harris is due out again, so there will be a slightly extended. I suppose we have had a slightly extended break between the two there. There's 1 minute and 20, so Chris Harris got 2 heats back to back in this one. There we go. See a minute on countdown from our referee. And you see Jordan Jenkins and Dan Gilkes again. 5-1 machine they were against Scunthorpe in the opening meeting of the season. Found the going just a little bit trickier against Paul at home. There comes Bomber. 2 rides on the trot for him, winning a 3rd so far. Just a bit of work there going on I think that's the front tyre of Alfie's bike there. So, heat number 5, 10 Tools our sponsors. Alfie BOWTELL will be off the inside in yellow for Plymouth. Jordan Jenkins red off of gate number 2, winner first time out. Chris Harris, winner in the last race, he's going to be in white off of gate 3 for Plymouth. And off the outside, Dan Gilkes in blue, fantastic 2nd place for him. First time of asking, so we're moving swiftly on with heat number 5. Whoa, did he touch them? Referees, let it go. Dan Gilkes has got to get in amongst it here. It's lifted going down the back straight. That's going to allow Alfie to come back, for BOWTELL to come back into 2nd place. Dan Gilkes riding him hard there, but Alfie brave round the outside, holds on to 2nd place. So it's Chris Harris from Alfie BOWTELL, from Dan Gilkes and Jordan Jenkins, who almost touched the tapes, started that millisecond behind everybody else, and that's essentially killed his race. Bomber out front. I don't think anyone's going to catch Chris Harris. The race in this one is Alfie BOWTELL and Dan Gilkes racing for that 2nd place. At the moment, Alfie BOWTELL's holding on. Dan Gilkes is looking inside this time around. Oh, very close, coming down the home straight for the last lap. Dan Gilkes goes a little bit deeper this time, round the outside. Will he get the run? Will he's going to stick? No, Alfie BOWTELL puts his back wheel out there, and that stops Dan Gilkes, and that's another 5-1 to the away side. Who saw this coming after 3 heats? Who saw this coming? 2 wins on the trot for Chris Harris. And we're down to a 4-point gap. Plymouth taking the meeting back to Oxford here. There we have it. Chris Harris with the win. Alfie BOWTELL 2nd. Jordan Jenkins. I think Dan Gilkes came 3rd, and Jordan was at the back. But it makes no difference to the 5-1 scoreline for the away side. 17-13 the progressive. So that was Dan Gilkes with a point. And Jordan Jenkins killed his race from the tapes, really. You can see it here. Keep an eye on red. Just watch Jordan. Oh, yeah, he did actually touch them. The referee let it go. So that's one. He's touched the tape. So should the referee restart the race? He obviously penalised himself, but it was a tape offence. Interesting. Interesting. I'd like to get somebody's take on that. I'm not sure where that is, but let's not take anything away from the Plymouth boys here. Chris Harris, great start. He was away, and then Alfie BOWTELL did wonderfully well to hold on to that second place. Dan Gilkes was all over the back of him for the full 4 laps, to be honest, right up until that last turn. He was looking inside, he was looking outside, and Alfie BOWTELL rode a really clever race, held his position, and held on wonderfully well for that second place. We've had 3 5-1s on the trot for the home side. We've had 2 5-1s on the trot for the away side. It was 15-3 after 3 heats. We're now 17-13. That's why you've got to take your hat off if you're wearing one to Plymouth. Don't feel sorry for themselves. They've just got stuck in and they've hit straight back. So we are going to have a bit of track grading, and we are going to bring the Bowser out. Maybe not. Not for the minute anyway. We'll get the grader out. We'll do a little bit of work to the track. Put in a few laps. I imagine we'll see a couple of huddles in the pits. Yeah, there's the Plymouth huddle. And I tell you what, that was going to be a totally different huddle after 3 heats, I can tell you. Garry May there, he's got a lot easier conversation now. Chris Harris makes a big difference. 2 wins on the trot for him, but Lasse FREDRIKSEN worked hard to get that second place in heat number 4 to get up to the front to join Chris. He's got ahead of Killeen and Cameron Heeps. And likewise, Alfie BOWTELL was in front for the full 4 laps, but he really had to hold on. Dan Gilkes was buzzing around all over the back of him. But he did manage to hold on. So we've had 5 heats, 5 superb heats, something to talk about in every heat. And if you've bought the stream tonight, I'd imagine you're pretty happy at this point. Seeing some really good speedway. Well, it's still a relatively close meeting. You can see the aggregate score there, the 65-54. So they're both looking. They're both looking to take the aggregate point tonight. Plymouth need that. Plymouth need that aggregate point. There's a bit of work. There's a Courtney. There's a Courtney on the spanners there, just changing the jetting. I think that's Mitchell's bike, Mitch McDermott. Oh no, there's Mitch there. Higher up the pits than that. Luke Killeen, yeah, probably Luke's. So just a change to the jetting for him. So just a bit of downtime while they do the grading. The track's been riding really well up to this point, really well. So I don't think they'll do too much. I imagine the riders are relatively happy. It's giving them options. We've seen that line around turns 3 into 4 that was working really well at the start of the season. That was working really well then. For Chris Harris, who used it to great effect. Get your back wheel in there. Touch on Mitchell's bike. So I think what we'll do, just while we've got this bit of extended delay, we'll Tractor's going to do another lap. Let's take in a heat from this season that we've had on the stream to this point. Turn blue on the inside for Oxford. Connor Mountain yellow, gate number 2 for Scunthorpe. Sam Masters red, unbeaten so far. He'll be off at gate number 3 for Oxford, and Simon Lambert, 1 paid 2 for him. He'll be in white off the outside for the Scunthorpe Scorpions. Here we go then. Ominous for the away side with Sam Masters at tapes, but let's see what they can do. Heat number 10, tapes up and away we go. And Jonas KNUDSEN, he's made a cracker off of gate number 1. Sam Masters, will he get that run round the outside? Yes, he does. He rides that line, and that'll probably propel him all the way around Jonas KNUDSEN into turns 3 and 4 here. Jonas KNUDSEN on the inside in blue, Sam Masters outside in red. Will those two team ride it home? Sam's looking, keeping an eye on Jonas KNUDSEN. Simon Lambert and Connor Mountain just getting over the top of each other, tripping each other up a tiny bit. Someone's got a set chase for Jonas KNUDSEN. Looks like it could be Simon Lambert, who's going a bit deeper out there into the heavy stuff. He's got the speed, he's getting the traction. You can see that. He's going to carry that run on into 3 and 4 here. Sam Masters is looking though. Sam Masters is signalling to Jonas KNUDSEN where to go. They're all over the back of Jonas here. If he hangs on to this, it's going to be a valiant effort. He's got Simon Lambert, 1 lap to go, 1 corner to go. Simon Lambert around the outside, Conor Mountain at the inside. Can Jonas KNUDSEN hold on to race to the line? Yes, he does. All 4 riders, in the words of Dave Lanning, blanket over all 4 there as they came over the start-finish line. Cracking heat. But it was a win for Sam Masters. It was a 2nd place for Jonas KNUDSEN. Conor Mountain and Simon Lambert, fair play, threw everything at that, but just could not get themselves up into. Yeah, this track's really given us some great speedway this season so far. It was a little bit slicker on Sunday for the Chargers because the track is prepared a little bit slicker when the National League is here. But it was a cooking hot day as well, and it was really difficult to get water into the surface. So yeah, the track was different on that day, but superb tonight. And it's been great this season, and it was. His track's rode really well since the club have come back. Jamie Courtney working his magic. Thankless task, as we said, on many an occasion, but yeah, he does really well. Lovely sunset over the stadium at the moment, as you can see from my vantage point. The Plymouth Gladiators, the Gladiators Bar Bandits. See them at most tracks when Plymouth are racing. Really good support. There's Lasse FREDRIKSEN out again, and that is Joe Thompson, who's going to take Ben Barker's rider replacement ride in this one. So we'll see Joe Thompson in white. Failed to score first time out, but the team have had a swing. Energy will be up. And we're going to see the 5-1 pairing of Sam Masters and Jonas KNUDSEN out again. There's our 2 minutes, so no water down, but just a bit of a grade. Red lights are on. Let's try and see why the red lights are on. Riders have been told to just wait. Not getting pushed off just yet. Not sure why the red lights are on. So yeah, the referee's got the red lights on. I'm not sure if you can hear the siren going. So the clerk of the course will be talking to the referee, I would imagine now, asking why. I don't think it can be anything to do with rider selection, because Joe Thompson is able to take a rider replacement ride for Ben, so it won't be that. Everyone appears to have the right helmet colours on. It's not that. And there's little things like it could be the referee can spot and maybe an air banner or something, a banner on the airbag. It's not that. I don't know. Nobody seems to know. There we go. Red lights are off. Here comes the clerk of the course. Michael Hunt. He's running across the centre green. Where's he heading? Is it the cameraman maybe? Possibly the cameraman on turn 2. There we go. There's Mike, clerk of the course. Yeah, he's just wants a bit more distance. Me and the cameraman there. But I laughed, but we had a serious incident last year before, up at Edinburgh. Craig Cook's bike caught a cameraman who was too close to the air, the back of the air fence. Thankfully all was okay in the end. That's why the referee is popping those red lights on. Being the regular track photographer here, I assume he knows where to stand. And they're off again. Oh dear me. I'm just taking a seat in the comms box. Michael's never had to do so much running. So yeah, Nikolai Klint, Chris is in for Nikolai Klint today. He's racing in Denmark. That's the reason he's not here. It's a pre-arranged meeting that he's got over there. And so it means that they do get a full guest facility for him. And they brought in one of the best, let's be fair, in Chris. And he's working his magic with 7 from 3 rides so far. So there we go, we're finally off. 2 minutes off and running. There's Garry May. Mitchell Cluff. Almost had second place in his first ride. So straight round to tapes. Been an extended delay there, but we are going to move on with heat number 6. Sam Masters off the inside in red for Oxford. Joe Thompson, white off gate number 2. Rider replacement ride for Ben Barker. Jonas KNUDSEN blue off of gate number 3. And Lasse FREDRIKSEN, excellent last time out. He's going to be in yellow off of gate number 4 for Plymouth. 17-13, the progressive. The Real Mini Company are our sponsors of heat number 6. SD Timo Car Sales. Spencer Timo, former rider, does a lot of sponsorship with the club. He sponsors the Cheetahs. And in the tagline, the team are powered by County Plumbing Supply. So the red lights are on. Oh, they're off now. They were on again then for a moment. I've had enough of that now. Give me some speedway. It's a longer break than I wanted. Longer break than you wanted. But we have 30 seconds and we will be moving on with heat number 6. With a meeting that's really taking shape. 5 races in, 5 5-1s. 3 for the home side, 2 for the away side. So the red lights have come on again. The riders are at tapes. We've got 2 seconds to go. Red lights are on. We can't start. The red lights are on. Red flags are out. It's starting to get a bit tiresome. Sam Masters taking the opportunity to do a bit more gardening. Lasse FREDRIKSEN just turns it around. It's obviously a reason. Christina, a TURNBULL referee, wouldn't put the red lights on for no reason, so there's a reason behind it. But finally, we are going to get heat number 6 underway. Sam Masters, Jonas KNUDSEN, Joe Thompson and Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Takes up, away we go, and it's a great start from Sam Masters. And is Jonas KNUDSEN going to put the back wheel in the grip? Round the board, Sam takes a look over his right shoulder, sees Jonas coming. Jonas switches to the inside, really tight going into turns 3 and 4 there. Sam Masters out front, Jonas KNUDSEN second. Joe Thompson in third at the moment, with Lasse FREDRIKSEN just tailed off in 4th here. So we're heat number 6. Are we going to get another 5-1? Or can one of the Gladiators get up to challenge? Whoa, down comes Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Tried to go big around his teammate. Red lights are going to come on again. That looked uncomfortable. He's up on his feet. That's the most important thing. He just tried to get that run around the outside of 4 that we've seen and used so many times, and it does work brilliantly, but just caught a bit of grip. Came down a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, just keep an eye on Lasse there. There's the run, just lifts and straightens up. I don't think Joe even knew he was there doing it, to be honest. I don't think Joe was the cause, his teammate wasn't the cause of the lift and the incident, but it certainly didn't help. Holding his right arm, hopefully he's okay. Whatever happens if we have a rerun, he will be excluded from that, or the referee might award it. So we'll just wait and see. Yeah, the yellow exclusion light is on, which is no surprise. Hopefully Lasse is okay. Big impact as he came down. Yeah, he's just got that wheel in the back there. He lifts there, that you can see it. Comes down heavy. Just catches the back end of the airbag. I think it was more the collision with the deck rather than anything else. You can just take the opportunity to look at the grip there around the outside. There's plenty of material out wide there on turn 4. So I'm just keeping a close eye on the scoreboard across the way. It still says 17-13, so the race hasn't been awarded as yet. We'll just keep our ears open to see if it is. Lasse just taking his time. Yeah, this Masters up, walking back. That's the most important thing. So we'll just wait and see if that's going to be awarded. There's Jamie Lee. He's our resident DJ. He's on the centre green for most meetings he comes to. Just play some decent tunes. It's a nice thing that we do here at Oxford. Some nice up-to-date music, relevant stuff. Lass is walking back. So yeah, I think we might see a rerun in this one. Referee could deem the fact that, you know, the Cheetahs look like they were set fair for a 5-1 there. Cluff just walking in with him. You can see that right arm, that right hand, that's what's causing him grief and causing him pain. I think we may well see a rerun in this one. So yeah, hopefully he's okay. I think he's still a bit second hand from a crash he had over the weekend as well. When he was racing on the continent. So that won't have helped at all. So he's just checking in on him there. So yeah, we're 17-13 on the scoreboard, so we are going to get a rerun of that one. So Masters getting himself ready. Jonas KNUDSEN as well there. Boys coming back out. 1:20. 2 minutes are well and truly ticking here. Joe Thompson will run this one alone for the away side. Riders come round to tapes then. Feels like it's taken forever to get heat number 6 off and running. All completed. So here we go with the rerun of heat number 6. Sam Masters off the inside in red for Oxford. Next to him, Joe Thompson white for Plymouth. Gate 3 will be Jonas KNUDSEN for Oxford, and Lasse FREDRIKSEN off the outside. Excluded cause of the stoppage. First time of asking when the home side were on a 5-1. It was Joe Thompson in third. Lasse was trying to come around his teammate. Didn't work. Real Mini Company, sponsors of heat number 6. 13 seconds till tapes up. Okay, let's try again. Are we going to have another 5-1? It was on the cards. What can Joe Thompson do? Let's have a look. He's made the start ahead of Jonas KNUDSEN, but not Sam Masters. Jonas up the inside. Joe holds on to that second place down the back straight. Sam Masters out front. Joe Thompson second. Jonas KNUDSEN third. He's out in the grip. He's using that wide line. We've seen 2 or 3 of the boys use it really well. We've seen Lasse unfortunately come to griff out there as well. So at the moment it is a heat advantage for the home side, but it is only a 4-2. It's been all 5-1s to this point. Is Joe Thompson going to stop that rot? Maybe a decent return for him if he can hold on to that second place here ahead of Jonas KNUDSEN. Coming around turns 3 and 4 into that line. Keep an eye on Jonas KNUDSEN. He's rode a totally different line there, up the inside, trying to keep it a bit more narrow. He's going to go in a bit deeper and try and get that long back straight, but Joe Thompson's done exactly the same. They're almost riding the same line here, so I think Joe is going to hold on to that second place. Great win for Sam Masters. Just lifting a bit, Joe Thompson, but he holds on for second place. Tries he might, Jonas KNUDSEN couldn't get up into second, so he takes that third place. And it's our first 4-2 of the evening. I imagine Joe Thompson will be pretty happy with that second place. Sam Masters with another win. So I'm just checking out gate 4. That's where he's going to be in his next ride. So Sam Masters with a win. Joe Thompson second for Plymouth. Jonas KNUDSEN battled away for third place. Couldn't get up into second. So it's 4-2 to Oxford in that one. 21-15 the progressive score. And they get back to a 6-point advantage on the night. Here we can see it from the start. Sam makes a great gate off of 1. Joe Thompson, he makes a better gate than Jonas KNUDSEN off of 3. And then just manages to hold on. It's our first winner off of gate number 1 from Sam Masters. It's a full quota of wins off of every gate. Yeah, Jonas wheel over the white line there. Thought he was going to ride that line, get up the inside. But to be fair to Joe, there was a big move there from Jonas. But yeah, Joe rode really smartly there. He rode where he anticipated Jonas might be trying to go to get the run, to get the lines, to get the speed. So there we go. We now have a winner off of 1. Gate 3 is the place to be at the minute with 3 race wins so far, and the lion's share of the points as well. So as we have seen, saw it a lot last year as well, gates tend to even up as the meeting ticks on. And Oxford will get that chance to pick when we get to the back end, after Plymouth chose 2 and 4 in heat number 1. There's the ruts on the start line. You can see them really starting to build. So the riders will pull up, drag the dirt and pack into the rut they think is going to be used best. It's like Luke, when Luke was up in the box talking for the charge meeting as well, he said that certain gates get ridden over more than the others. So that does tend to make a difference on what goes on with the gates. But yeah, you can see how deep those ruts go, and by the end of the meeting they're really deep. The riders will really pack the grip in. The back wheel in the one they think is going to work for them. So we're going to move on to heat number 7. Henley and Son Leadwork Specialists. They're our sponsors of heat number 7 when we get there. Cam Heeps, he's going to want more than that 1 point that he got in his first outing. He's going to be joined by Mitch McDermott this time, who won first time out. Side, we're going to see what I call that engine room. Mitchell Cluff and Joe Thompson. He's got 2 back-to-back. The referee's got the 2 minutes on pretty swiftly. So Joe's still in the pits. I can see him getting his helmet on from here. He's got 1 minute and 10 to get round to the start. You can see, jump off, scrape a bit of dirt into the rut he wants to use. Look where the back wheel's going to go. Pack it in. Pack it down, that's where the back wheel's going to grip. So Joe Thompson is on his way around now for heat number 7. Mitchell Clough's going to be off the inside in white for the away side Plymouth. Cameron Heeps, he's going to be in red off of gate number 2 for Oxford. Joe Thompson, second ride on the trot for him, he's going to be in yellow off of gate number 3. And Mitch McDermott, he's going to be in blue off of gate number 4. Winner first time out in that heat number 2. Look pretty comfortable as well. Henley and Son Leadwork Specialists, they are sponsors of our heat number 7. 6-point advantage for the home side. Let's see what heat number 7 brings, and it's a good start by Mitchell Clough off the inside. Keep an eye on Cam Heeps. Whoa, Mitchell Clough's gone from first to last in 1 corner as Cam takes the lead. Joe Thompson's out wider here than Mitch McDermott, and he'll get the run around him. Yes, he does, into second place. So we've got a race on. Cam Heeps out front, Mitch McDermott putting it to Joe Thompson in second. pretty close between the front three. Mitchell Cluff's just cast a little bit of drift at the back there. Mitch McDermott coming in really hard. He's moved Joe Thompson over into second place. Great ride from Mitch McDermott into second place, looking fast. Cam Heeps out front. No one's going to get near Cam, barring any mechanical failure. This one's his. Mitch McDermott is back on his way into second place and has just started to pull a little bit away there from Joe Thompson. So another heat, more action to talk about, but it's going to be another heat advantage, another 5-1. Cameron Heeps, Mitch McDermott do the business. 5-1 to the Cheetahs over Joe Thompson and Mitchell Cluff, who made the gate and had the lead to kick off. And then in the space of turns 1 into 2, went from first to last. Just got that one a little bit wrong. So that makes Mitch McDermott unbeaten after 2 rides. Win for Cameron Heeps, second for Mitch McDermott. 5-1 to the home side. Joe Thompson, third place, Mitchell Cluff at the back. 26-16, a 10-point gap now. They're just starting to open it up again, the Cheetahs. The aggregate's looking more and more difficult for the away side. So just keep an eye on Mitchell Cluff. He makes the gate off of the inside here in white. He goes into that first turnlet and then just goes right across the corner, allows all 3 riders up the inside of him. Joe Thompson did well there to get over the top initially of Mitch McDermott. He's out just a little bit wider than him, so he'll get that run, which works so well off of turn 4. But that wasn't the end of the story. Mitch McDermott all over the back of him, pushing Joe Thompson really hard for the full 4 laps, getting himself up into second place. You can see him putting pressure on, moving him over into second. And that was race over. Another 5-1. You can see the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund padded block that now sits at every track in front of the starting gate. So it stops the riders from, if they do get it wrong and they come onto the centre green, stops them hitting the starting gate post on the inside there. New introduction to all tracks this year. More safety for the boys, which we like. So heat number 8, Luke Killeen. Paid win in his first one, last in his second one. You can see Ben Trigger yet to pick up a point. He'll be off the inside. Alfie BOWTELL did excellent in his last ride. He'll be off of gate 3. There we go, here's the full run. Ben Trigger off the inside, yellow. Luke Killeen, blue, gate 2. Alfie BOWTELL, white, gate 3. And Jonas KNUDSEN, paid 4 points for him so far. He's going to be in red off of gate number 4. Abingdon Beds, there are sponsors of heat number 8. So the race is so far 5-1, 5-1, 5-1, 1-5, 1-5, 4-2, 5-1. No 3-3s in this one. Nobody in the sharing mood tonight. Can Plymouth hit back again with a couple of heat advantages? Seconds or so till tapes up in this one. 26-16. The score not reflecting the racing. Some excellent speedway. Every heat has offered us something so far. I doubt this one's going to be any different. As protected heat, no tactical substitutions or anything. You can swap your reserve, but no tactical substitutions in this one. So here we go. Heat number 8. Jonas KNUDSEN, Luke Killeen, Alfie BOWTELL, Ben Trigger. Tapes up and away we go, and looks like Luke Killeen's got a big one. Loads of pull going up into that first turn, but it's actually probably done him no favours because Ben Trigger's managed to get up the inside. Whoa, Luke's got him really hot and down he'll come. He'll pick that bike up though. Jonas KNUDSEN is out front, Ben Trigger second. Alfie BOWTELL currently in third. Luke Killeen's back on and will complete the 4 laps, but it's going to take something, mechanical failure from the Gladiators pair to get him a point. Jonas KNUDSEN out front, Ben Trigger in second, Alfie BOWTELL in third. Luke Killeen dropped it but picked it back up again. He's following home but a long way adrift. Lap and a bit to go here. Jonas KNUDSEN out front. Did all the work on the first lap to get himself out front. Ben Trigger lifting a tiny bit coming down the home straight. He finds himself in second, Alfie BOWTELL third. Unless anything drastic happens, we are going to see some sharing going on. It is going to be a 3-3 here in heat number 8. Jonas KNUDSEN with the win. Ben Trigger picks up some points in second. Well done to him, and Alfie BOWTELL in third. So, the boys in a sharing mood in that one. First 3-3 of the evening. Jonas KNUDSEN adds another win. He's had a win, a second and a third. And Trigger gets some points on the board. So Jonas KNUDSEN with a win. Ben Trigger in second. Alfie BOWTELL third. Killeen fell but remounted. Finished the heat but couldn't get in amongst the points. 3-3, 29-19. That 10-point gap remains. Plymouth just stopped that flow for the moment. But again, something to talk about. Every heat's given us something to talk about at the minute. So Jonas KNUDSEN on the outside. Great gate and a great run. All the Killeen's pulling all the way there, which actually took him probably off the line that he wanted to be on. And then just keep an eye, because the bike does the same thing here. Just shoots forward. Whoa, good job he didn't collect the back of Ben Trigger there. Thankfully he didn't. Kisses the airbag but gets up. Alfie BOWTELL just scans over his shoulder to see if the race is going to be stopped or not. Sees it's not, and then sets chase, but the race was done. Jonas KNUDSEN took the win comfortably from Ben Trigger, who chased him for the 4 laps, but couldn't get up close enough to challenge. So a great gate and a win off of gate number 4. And the sun has completely dropped away now. We've got a bit of a red sky over the back, but the sun has gone. We're going to see Jordan Jenkins there and Dan Gilkes. Couldn't be further apart on the track there, could they? So there's some gate stats. Again, it's always pretty even here. The winner off of everywhere. Gate 3 still got those 3 race wins, but that was very early on. And the race winners, Heat 5 was the last winner off of 3. But it just shows that there is either off the gate, or if you can get yourself in the mix. We've had some good racing tonight. Some of those are passing from the back. So I anticipate, there's Chris Harris there in white, so that's going to be a tax sub in this one. So Chris Harris will come out in white here. Dan Gilkes already at tapes, he's ready to go. 2 minutes haven't come on yet. Jordan Jenkins is still at the pit gate. Chris Harris out, but nobody else at the moment. I think there might just be a swap at reserve. I think Ben Trigger is going to come back out. Look quick in that last one. Ben, he held second comfortably. He was unchallenged. Oh, there's me again. There's my view. I was trying to look down on the centre grid. Now I can see you now. I was trying to have a scan, see if I can see you. It's deceiving looking from there to looking out there. Best seat in the house. Best seat in the house. Paul always finds me. He's out there with his camera on the centre green. Paul's our roaming cameraman. Rob downstairs on the fixed mic, on the fixed camera. Andy up here pressing the buttons. And me talking. I have to say it was lovely the other day when we had Laura in the pits. Laura will be back. She's out doing her walk at the moment with Greg and Scott. They're doing their Speed Riders Benevolent Fund fundraiser. Doing that mammoth 107-mile walk. If you haven't chipped in and given any money, make sure you do so. Go onto the Speed Riders Benevolent site. You'll be able to find the barcode to scan. Good work, guys. The feet are holding up. Not long to go. But we've got a minute to... Here we go. I can see Ben Trigger coming out now. He looked fast in his last one, Ben. So Garry May just playing that card. Maybe Lasse's feeling a little bit second hand. So here we go. Chris Harris tacks up. He's on the inside in the white helmet colour for Plymouth. Dan Gilkes, gate 2 in blue for Oxford. Ben Trigger in for Lasse FREDRIKSEN. He's in yellow for gate number 3. And Jordan Jenkins, red helmet colour. He will be off of gate number 4. Didn't really class his last one as a ride. He did touch the tapes. And then the tapes went up as he was at that point of no engagement with the throttle. And it literally followed around for 4 laps. So he's going to be looking for better in this one. Heat number 9. 10-point gap. What can Chris Harris and Ben Trigger do here? Can they eat into that gap again? Chris has looked pretty formidable in his last 2 races with 2 wins. We have seen some masters jump off a 1 and win a race. Here we go then, heat number 9. Tapes up and away we go. And I tell you, it's an even break going into the first turn. Oh, Jordan Jenkins right around the outside, but then Dan Gilkes has bolted Jordan's run a little bit. Didn't know he was there. Thought Ben Trigger was going to be in the mix in that first turn as well, but Chris Harris out front, made the gate, bossed the first 2 turns and he's pulling away. Jordan Jenkins, Dan Gilkes packed into 2nd and 3rd for Oxford. Ben Trigger already a little bit of drift at the back. Ben, he was in the mix in the first 2 turns, that's for sure. But has just been battled out of it a little bit here. So, looking down on this one, the Oxford pairing on top of each other in 2nd and 3rd. Chris Harris, he's a mile out front. He's half a straight ahead of the 2 Oxford boys who are battling away in 2nd and 3rd together. They just need to calm down, 1 inside, 1 outside. Whoa, and I tell you what did I just say? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Dan Gilkes and Jordan Jenkins were riding so close to each other there. Absolutely no need for that. Wouldn't have taken much to look over the shoulder to see where Ben Trigger is. And Jordan Jenkins is not going to be happy with that at all. That was a banker of a 3-3 there. Yeah, and I think Peter Schroeck's on track. Dan Gilkes, look how close the boys are here. You've just got to settle in. Ride together, 1 inside, 1 outside. Have a look where Ben Trigger is. I mean, he's even had a couple of looks there. Not sure. And then he's clipped him off. Not sure what's going on there between Dan and Jordan. Yeah, you can see Peter Schroeck there waving the programme around, and I'm not surprised. I don't really know why they were putting each other under so much pressure. There's a 3-3 all day there. You can see a heated exchange there, Peter Schroeck and Dan Gilkes. And I'm not the one on track, so yeah. But from what I could see, I called it 10 seconds earlier. Just ease off. Somebody take 2nd, somebody take 3rd. It's all very heated in there. It's unnecessary. The meeting's comfortable. The meeting's comfortable at the moment for the home side. That was going to be a really settled 3-3. The exchange is still going on in there between Peter and Dan. Yeah. You can see Peter's really not happy. They were always almost on top of each other there. So Jordan, he's actually still down, Jordan, at the moment. So essentially it should be a rerun because Dan Gilkes did have a bit of contact with Jordan there, and Jordan's come off. So it should be a rerun really, because the cause of the stoppage was Dan's contact with his teammate. So I would imagine we'll see another rerun. So a bit of the bike cover off of Jordan's bike and still shoot. He's still down at the moment. So what was looking like a pretty comfortable set, no stress evening. Actually, I can see the scoreboard changing across the way, so I think that has been awarded. And I think that'll be a 4-2 to the away side. Yep, 31-23, there we go. And that is a 4-2 to the away side. So Dan Gilkes, again, I've not heard, but I would imagine Dan would be the cause of the stoppage for that one, so Dan will be excluded. Jordan's up. Jordan's not happy for a couple of reasons. I imagine he's not happy, A, because he got ridden hard by his teammate, but also because I think he, would have loved to have had a stab at the rerun. Yeah, funny. On the replay, we could see Dan had a look coming off a turn 4. He had like 3 looks at where Jordan was, and then the boys were just in close proximity to each other. But again, I'm not riding the bike. I don't know what's going through Dan's head. I think Dan thinks that he's got more room than he does, or whether Jordan's going to ride a little bit wider. So I'm not going to cast any aspersions on that. I'll let them 3 battle it out in the pits, Peter Schroeck and the 2 boys. I dare say we might keep a camera on Jordan going back in the pits, just in case. Yeah, always a tricky one, that. But the result has been given. I don't know. I imagine Dan Gilkes was excluded. Bomber with another win. So Chris Harris has taken the 3 points. Ben Trigger will get the 3rd place. I'm just going to keep tabs on this a little bit. Hopefully it's just a conversation. We don't want anything else, because they are paired next to each other in the pits as well. Jordan's just exchanged a few words, no more than that. If you can lip read, we apologise about that. So I'm going to hand Jordan Jenkins the 2 points. Very uncomfortable. But what it does do is it does give a heat advantage to Plymouth. Clearly disagree with what they thought. I think Dan thought that Jordan might ride a different line. Let's put that there. And then Jordan didn't ride a different line, and so 31-23. Chris Harris with the win. Ben Trigger with the 3rd place. Jordan Jenkins awarded the 2 points. And he found himself under the air fence. And Dan Gilkes excluded for as the cause of the stoppage. So we move on. We've had plenty to talk about, that's for sure. We've got 1 minute and 30 left on the 2 minutes for this one. And we are going to have heat number 10. There we go, there's our heat number 10. Joe Thompson off the inside in yellow for Plymouth. Next to him will be Jonas KNUDSEN, winner last time out in blue for Oxford. Gate 3, Mitchell Cluff. It's looked competitive, just without the points to show for it so far. He's in white off of gate number 3, and Sam Masters unbeaten from his 2 rides. He's going to be in red off of the outside. County Plumbing Supplies are our sponsors of this heat, and they also power the Cheetahs for this season. Let's see what's going to happen in this one. Still just a 1-3-3 scoreline so far. Heat advantages across the board, apart from that one. Giving us a pretty entertaining meeting, plenty to talk about. So this is a tack sub. It was a tack sub for Chris Harris in that last one. I guess it worked, not quite the way that Garry May thought it was going to work, but it did work. What it also does is it gives Plymouth 8 points from Ben Barker's 3 rider replacement ride so far. Good return in his absence. Okay, let's crack on. Heat number 10. Sam Masters, Jonas KNUDSEN, Mitchell Cluff, Joe Thompson takes up on heat number 10, and Jonas KNUDSEN's made a dream off of 2. Sam Masters has made a dream off of 4. They're out front. They'll team ride this one home. Can Joe Thompson in 3rd get up to challenge Jonas KNUDSEN? Can Mitchell Cluff do the same? Sam Masters just keeping an eye over his shoulder for his teammate Jonas KNUDSEN. Looking pretty comfortable at the minute for the Cheetahs, but Joe Thompson's not a million miles away. One mistake from Jonas KNUDSEN and he'll be all over the back of him. He's pushing him all the way here, Joe Thompson. Sam Masters looking really comfortable out front. Jonas KNUDSEN 2nd. Joe Thompson just lifting a little bit there as he came off a turn 2. Just killed a little bit more of his speed. Mitchell Cluff working hard at the back, but not getting any forward movement. This race has given me probably the least to talk about of any of our heats so far, but it does look like it's going to be another 5-1 and another big heat advantage to the home side. Sam Masters again tapes the flag with the win. Jonas KNUDSEN second place. Joe Thompson third. Mitchell Cluff at the back. 36-24. That lead is extended. Jonas KNUDSEN's had a very positive night. The Oxford pair come round to take the applause from the home crowd on the home straight. There's your confirmed scoreline. Sam Masters with the win, Jonas KNUDSEN second. Big 5 for the home team. Joe Thompson tries he might, couldn't get up there to increase on that 1 point, so it's a 5-1 to the Cheetahs again in that one. 36-24 is our progressive score. Aggregate point now will belong to the Cheetahs. And the result pretty much looking like it's going to go that way as well, but we have seen heat advantages for the away side. There's nothing to say they can't rack a few more up between now and the end of the meeting. So I think we are going to have a bit of an interval. Paramedics, track graders, they've left the centre green. Let's have a look at the scores. We'll go top to bottom. Chris Harris, 3 wins, looking really good, 10 points for him. Alfie BOWTELL, he's scored in his last couple and looked competitive. He's got paid 5 so far. Tough night for Mitchell Cluff, just a point for him in his opening ride. Joe Thompson has been in the mix in all of his heats and has picked up 4 points from his 4 rides. Ben Barker, his 8 points from his rider replacement ride so far. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, big off in his last one. He was looking great in his second ride. He's got 3+1. And Ben Trigger, he's picked up a couple of points in his last ride as well. So they've got 6 points down there at reserve from them too. And for the home side, unbeaten Sam Masters, looking immaculate so far. Jonas KNUDSEN, wonderful night for him. Just that second ride has blotted his copybook, 8+2. Jordan Jenkins off in his last one, but 6 points from his 3 rides so far. Dan Gilkes, another tough night for him. 2+1 from his 3 rides, excluding his last one. Cam Heeps came to the party in his second ride with a win, 4 points from his 2 rides. Mitch McDermott, excellent so far, unbeaten, 5+1 from his 2 rides. And Luke Killeen, yeah, he's been in the thick of it. Second place, first time out behind his teammate. Failed to score in his next 2. Just the 2+1 for him. So that's the tale of the tapes. Just a quick interview of Luke Killeen. Always happy to talk, regardless of what's going on, Luke. Really pleased with his night last night. Always the possibility of a tough night. No easy races. That's the thing. It's always going to be tough. He's always learning. So yeah, just while we got the grader out, we'll just give you a pause from my voice, and let's well, it's probably my voice again actually, as we take a look back at a heat that we've had here so far on Oxford TV this season. Here we go with heat number 9, sponsored by SD Timo Car Sales. You're going to see Dan Gilkes off the inside, 2 wins so far for him. Blue off of gate number 1. Jake Allen, 4 paid 5 for him so far. He'll be in white off of gate number 2. Jordan Jenkins, 2 paid wins for him. He'll be in red off of gate 3. And Declan Kennedy, really good second ride for him. He's going to be in yellow off of the outside for Scunthorpe. 28-20, game on, shall we say. Heat number 9. Away from the start, away they go, and it is Jake Allen in white who's got to that first turn first. Keep an eye on Jordan Jenkins around the outside into first place. Dan Gilkes, big move up the inside. Brave, can he hold it or will it come back at him? No, he's held that. Jake Allen. The space of a lap went from the front to third place. And this dynamite duo for Oxford tonight, they're a slightly different way around, but it's the same answer. On a 5-1, but Jake Allen looks quick in third place. Can he get up and challenge? Dan Gilkes in second. Declan Kennedy, oh, he's just locked up there, stayed on. Locked up there, stayed on. Oxford boys out front. Dan Gilkes goes so fast into turn 3, carrying bags of speed, looking fast. Sat behind his teammate. Looks like he wants to get ahead of his teammate at the minute. They just need to work together here, the Oxford pair. Doesn't matter who wins, doesn't matter who comes second. It is right back at you, 5-1 from Oxford. Jordan Jenkins with the win. Dan Gilkes in second. Jake Allen, try as he might, couldn't get it back in amongst it. So that 5-1 advantage that they took in the last one, wiped out straight away by the home side. And that pairing tonight, what can you say? Unbeaten, the pair of them. Dan Gilkes and Jordan Jenkins, hats off to you two. go the flares. 5-1 to the home side. Jordan Jenkins with a win in red. Dan Gilkes second blue. Jake Allen battling. Yeah, somewhat of a bit of an irony there that we show a wonderful 5-1 from Dan and Jordan in that opening meeting of the season here against Scunthorpe. Opening Cheetahs meeting here. When there was handbags aplenty after that last one. And thank you to a couple of people that have messaged me to say that, I haven't got word of who was excluded, but apparently Jordan Jenkins was excluded for that one, not Dan Gilkes. Whereas I had it and we had it the other way around. So I apologise about that. Thank you, Dan. Message me, appreciate that. And just made everything just a little bit fractured in the home pitch there for a little while. It's always hard, especially when they're riding together in the main body of that team. And these things happen, you know. These incidents will happen from time to time, and it's the nature of the sport. But let's talk something positive for a minute. Walk Talk Speedway. Scott, Greg and Laura, they're completing their 107-mile walk from Berwick to Redcar. We brought the code up earlier for you to scan. If you scan that now, that'll take you through where you can give a couple of quid. Whatever you're able to give, all money gratefully received. I think they had a £5,000 target, the guys. We'd love them to be able to hit that target and exceed that as well. So it's 107 miles from Berwick to Redcar this week. We've still got a couple of days left to walk. I think Greg's at home watching, Greg, so if you are, good to have you on board, buddy. The feet are holding up. You guys do an excellent job. And a massive congratulations from all of us. As long as you finish it, of course. Don't be stopping now. A couple more days of walking. But yeah, if you're able to scan that code or go onto the website, the Benevolent Riders website, you'll be able to see the links to be able to contribute and support them on their fantastic walk to help injured riders and long-term injured riders as well, and their families. I've been involved in the Ben Fund. I've done a couple of events myself, and all the money that you collect goes to help the riders, their families, if they need to be put up in hotels, whether they're in hospitals. It's amazing how far that money goes. So whatever you can do to support Scott, Greg and Laura, and obviously the Speedway Benevolent Fund, will be gratefully received. So just a bit more water going down there from Jamie. It is 36-24. The meeting's pretty much done, but you know, I don't think the scoreline really reflects what superb racing we've had. Every heat has offered us something pretty much. There's something to talk about, something to enjoy in every heat. And the guys have put on some excellent speedway, so it does look like Oxford will be going back to the top of that group, or level on points at least. I think I'll check that in a minute. I'll have a double check what that BSN Southern group looks like. But what I do know, ooh, nice picture of Greg Blair's foot there, look. I won't share that on screen with you. Nice blister. Looking good, Greg. So, riders as Alfie BOWTELL. He's out in the next one. Sam Hagen helping him tonight. I felt that it was a tough gig, him losing his role at his position at Leicester after only a couple of meetings, handful of rides. And again, I was talking to a couple of the riders, Luke Killeen, in the pits earlier on about that. And you know, when you're doubling up, you almost want your championship meetings to come quicker than your premiership meetings, because in air brackets, inverted commas, you know, you should get slightly easier rides at championship level. It's not always the case than you do at premiership level, and that gives you a chance to pick up points. You know, ride well and pick up confidence. Unfortunately for Sam, it didn't quite go that way for him this season. Mitchell Cluff, he's looked competitive, but without being able to really trouble the scores tonight. There's Lasse FREDRIKSEN. I do wonder whether we're going to see him again. Possibly not. I fear he's got a nice pack there on the arm. He's holding his arm. Lasse is due out again in heat number 12. So we may well see Ben Trigger on that one. He did come down with some thud on turn 4. He's trying to go around the outside of his teammate Joe Thompson. Didn't quite work for him. So just out with the tractor still. See, this is where on future streams we'll have Laura in the pits. So Laura, who's doing the walk, she will be in the pits. She will be grabbing some interviews just to fill the time. But what we will do to fill the time is let's show you another video. Why not? Let's have another look back at another heat from this season. It's Cameron Heeps in red off the inside, and then Simon Lambert in white off of gate 2. Darryl RITCHINGS, yeah, picked up a point in his first ride. He'll be in blue off gate number 3. And Connor Mountain, he took that 3rd place in their ride. He will be in yellow off gate number 4. We're hoping to impress. So 24-12, Cameron Heeps, Darryl RITCHINGS, Simon Lambert, Connor Mountain. Takes up on heat number 7, and it looks like a better start from the Scorpions pair, but Cameron Heeps has got himself out front. Keep an eye on Simon Lambert round the boards and Connor Mountain up the inside. Putting it to Cam Heeps. He's really put his pass. Fantastic from Cameron Heeps. Woo, where'd that come from? I was about to say the Scorpions looking good for a heat advantage in this one, and then Cam put his back wheel out there. Incredible speed, fantastic line, and got himself back round the outside into the lead. Excellent stuff from Cameron Heeps. He's out front. Simon Lambert 2nd, Connor Mountain 3rd. Darryl RITCHINGS just a little bit off in this one at the back, but learning as he's going. But that's off Cameron Heeps out front. That's a phenomenal turn. I was just about to big up the Scorpions pair for looking to get a race win. Cameron Heeps had other ideas into the last lap. Cameron Heeps out front. Simon Lambert 2nd, Connor Mountain up the inside in 3rd at the moment. Darryl RITCHINGS at the back. Looks like it's going to be a share of the spoils in this one. Cameron Heeps, the man to talk about. He gets the win. Connor Mountain in 2nd. Simon Lambert in 3rd. Great first lap, that one. His first race win of the season. Cameron Heeps with the win for Oxford. Connor Mountain, he took that 2nd spot for Scunthorpe. Simon Lambert in 3rd. Yeah, that's the Cam Heeps we know. He produced that in his last ride. Got himself a win. And joined the party, so to speak. That's Chris Harris. He's out in the next one. He's been great so far, Chris, hasn't he? 3 wins. Just noticed in my programme I haven't put his third ride down. So Chris. Oh yeah, that was all in the excitement of heat number 9. I forgot to give Chris his 3 points. But yeah, 3 wins and a 3rd for him. He'll be out again, trump card. He's going to be joined by Alfie BOWTELL, scored in his last 2 rides. Mitch McDermott, unbeaten so far. And Cameron Heeps winner last time out. All of the ingredients for a great heat. Let's turn the fuel on Cam, nicely done. So paramedics back on track. Track graders back on track. 2 minutes will be on any minute. We can get underway with the last 5 heats. Not going to see a super heat tonight. We're just going to run our straight 15. Oxford have taken the opportunity to get loads of sponsors out in the centre green to watch a heat from the middle. Always an exhilarating experience if you get the opportunity. I recommend you do it if you can. Whether that's via a hospitality type ticket. Or I know a couple of clubs do give you the opportunity to get out onto the centre green to watch a race. If you get the opportunity, take it. It's unbelievable when you stand in that centre green. Here we go then, heat number 11. Cameron Heeps, he's going to be off the inside. Winner last time out in red for Oxford. Next to him, Chris Harris. Won his last 3 heats. Chris, he's going to be in white for gate number 2. Mitch McDermott, unbeaten so far. He's going to be in blue off for gate number 3. And Alfie BOWTELL, 3+2 for him. He's going to be in yellow off the outside. Smiths of Bletchingley, they're our sponsors of heat number 11. And it's a heat number 11 that could go either way. Chris Harris only beaten in his first ride by Sam Masters and Jonas KNUDSEN. Since then, no one's got near him, to be fair. What can Cameron Heeps do in this one? Plenty looking on from the pits. Peter Schroeck, Jamie Courtney. Keeping an eye on this one. Seconds, just a bit more gardening time for the riders. Garry May. It's hard to know what Garry will make of this because his riders have had a good go. They've won heats, they've got heat advantages, but when they've conceded, they just conceded big. About five 5-1s they've been on the wrong end of so far. Okay, so here we go. Heat number 11, Cameron Heeps, Mitch McDermott, Chris Harris, Alfie BOWTELL. Start marshal's happy. Green light comes on. Takes up, and it's a flyer off the inside from Cam Heeps and Chris Harris around the outside. Keep an eye on Alfie BOWTELL. He's gone all the way around the boards into second to join his teammate. Will Chris Harris look? Whoa, Alfie's gone in big and fast round turns 4. He's got himself up alongside Chris Harris. Chris just rides that a little bit tighter. Very clever. That allowed Alfie round the outside. Chris Harris team riding superbly here, his teammate, but keep an eye. Mitch McDermott in third. He's going to be pushing. He's got to be careful here, Plymouth. Mitch McDermott up the inside of Alfie BOWTELL. He can't make it stick. We've got 1 lap left, and this is going to be full on because Mitch McDermott is quick in third. He's locked up there a tiny bit, and that's given Cam Heeps the opportunity to come around the outside. There's one big hectic lap ahead of us here. Chris Harris out front, Alfie BOWTELL still in second, but keep an eye here. Mitch McDermott, Cam Heeps, can either of them get up to challenge? No, they can't. Well done to the Plymouth pair in there. What a superb heat for them. And they throw another 5-1 back at the Cheetahs. But that was full on for 4 laps. Chris Harris was in the lead, and whether he was just knocking off the throttle a bit to look after Alfie, I don't know. But what it did is it condensed that heat right up. So all 4 riders were on top of each other. And guess what? Another 5-1. Not sure who came third. We might need to see crossing the line just to see who come third in that one. We know who won it, and we know who was second. Alfie BOWTELL rode really well there. Fair play, hats off to him. Battled and held on to the position because he had Cam buzzing one side. He had Mitch McDermott battling the other side. We're going to go with Cam for the third place. It's really close on the line. We might just I'm going to pencil that in because that might change in a minute. But what we do know is Chris Harris with another win, 4th on the trot for him. Alfie BOWTELL, that's his second paid win of the night. And it is a 5-1, it's 37-29. Fair play to Plymouth, they keep coming back at it. Colin Perkins, property maintenance, they were the sponsors of heat number 12. Yeah, here we go, we'll just quickly take in. We've got 2 minutes until the tapes go up on this one. So let's just see if we can see. We're looking for the battle for third between the two Oxford boys. Just watch that run to the line. Yeah, that doesn't help. I think Mitch McDermott. I think Mitch in blue. I'm going to give it to him. So we are moving on with heat number 12. So I was ahead of myself there. That was heat 11. Getting all excited. Here we go then. This is Colin Perkins, property maintenance, heat number 12. Jordan Jenkins off the inside in red. Ben Trigger, he's going to be in for Lasse FREDRIKSEN in yellow off of gate number 2. So Lasse's obviously feeling the effects of that fall. So that's going to be Lasse FREDRIKSEN off of gate, it's going to be Ben Barker. No, start again. It's going to be Ben Trigger off of gate number 2 in yellow. Luke Killeen in blue off of gate 3. And Mitchell Cluff, he's going to be in white off of the outside. Jordan Jenkins, Luke Killeen, Ben Trigger, and Mitchell Cluff. That's our lineup. Got there in the end. I was getting lost in all the excitement there for a minute. All these 5-1s and changes. That's definitely Mitchell Cluff in white, and it's definitely Ben Trigger in yellow. There we go. That's where we're at. So let's go again. Heat number 12. Colin Perkins, property maintenance. They are our sponsors of heat 12. Not heat 11, which was Smiths of Bletchley. Here we go. Heat number 12. Tapes up and away we go, and it's an even break off the inside. Jordan Jenkins, but keep an eye, Mitchell Cluff's gone right round the boards and right round the lot of them. Into the lead, Mitchell Cluff. Great ride from him to get himself out front from Jordan Jenkins, Ben Trigger, Luke Killeen at the back at the moment. But Jordan Jenkins, he will have the bit between his teeth here. He's chasing down Mitchell Cluff out front. Ben Trigger and Luke Killeen, looks like we might have 2 races in one here. Battle out the front between Cluff and Jenkins. Jenkins turns up the inside, can't get the run. Killeen looks to turn up the inside of Ben Trigger. He can't get the run either. Gladiators on a heat advantage at the minute, but Luke Killeen now, will Ben Trigger come back round him? Yes, he does. trying to commentate on 2 races. Jordan Jenkins is looking to go outside of Mitchell Cluff. Brilliant from Jordan Jenkins. Has Luke Killeen gone up the inside of Ben Trigger as well? Yes, he has. It's a 4-2 one way and it's a 4-2 the other way, but both Ben Trigger come back. Ben Trigger does come back into 3rd place. 2 bends to go. Great speedway in this one. Jordan Jenkins with the win. Whoa, run to the line, and I think Luke Killeen might have got that. Wowzers. Stop to take a breath. Excellent speedway again, served up by these 2 teams. 2 races in one. Jordan Jenkins, he got the win. Mitchell Cluff was 2nd. Keep an eye. Oh, Ben Trigger straightened up there, but I think on the run to the line, yeah, that's Luke Killeen. Luke Killeen, he picks up that 3rd place. Jordan Jenkins with the win. Superb speedway once again. 4-2 to the home side, 41-31. Yeah, Jordan Jenkins with the win. Mitchell Cluff in 2nd place. Luke Killeen did get that 3rd place on the line from Ben Trigger to give the Cheetahs a 4-2 and extend that lead back to 10 points, 41-31. 89-72, the aggregate bonus point will be going to the Cheetahs. Whew. Stop, take a breath. I'll let you enjoy the replay. Brilliant, tapes to flag, excitement in that one. Excellent heat. Mitchell Cluff round the outside there of Jordan Jenkins. Luke Killeen straightened up at the back to try and get the run up Ben Trigger, and that was the race. We had those 2 out front battling for the win. I think that's just been confirmed to the crowd that it was Luke Killeen on the line. So Jordan Jenkins, track craft, really knew the line, knew what to take there, was straightening up to get really long straights. Luke Killeen there putting Ben Trigger under pressure. You can see Jordan locking up. He knows how to ride this track to get maximum straight line speed, to get that run, and that's terrific. Just a little bit no man's land. Well, not really from Mitchell Cluff. I just think that was a great turn from Jordan Jenkins. Whew. Got to remember to fill my programme in. Great point from Luke Killeen. Unlucky from Ben Trigger. He did really well in that 3rd place until that last corner. And 2 points on the board for Mitchell Cluff. So we move on to Heat 13. Whew. In white, I anticipate we're going to see maybe Alfie BOWTELL out in this one. Yeah, I think Alfie will be out for Ben Barker in this one. Yep, there's Alfie in yellow. He gets to go at it with the big guns in Heat 13. It's the 5-1 dynamite pairing last season of Cam Heeps and Sam Masters against Chris Harris, who after that, here we go. Chris Harris off the inside in white. Sam Masters, gate 2, red. Alfie BOWTELL, rider placement, yellow, gate 3. Cameron Heeps, blue, off of gate number 4. Jamie Lee Sound Enterprises, sponsors of Heat number 13. And yeah, like I was saying, Cam and Sam were 5-1 dynamite last year. So far tonight, after that third place in his first ride, Chris Harris has got 4 straight wins. Again, have we got a belter on our hands? We could well do. So this is Ben Barker's 4th rider replacement ride, and 8 points so far from the 3 rides. Is a sound return for Ben. Okay, start marshal brings them in then. Here we go, big Heat 13. Sam Masters, Cameron Heeps, Chris Harris, Alfie BOWTELL. 10-point lead for the Cheetahs. Tapes up, and Sam Masters has made a worldie over the top there of Chris Harris. Keep an eye on Cameron Heeps. Will he get the run up inside of Alfie BOWTELL? No, Alfie just gets the speed coming down the back straight. So, Chris Harris, what has he got in his locker? What can he do? And I tell you what, Cam Heeps has come up the inside of Alfie BOWTELL. Can he make that stick, or will Alfie get that run around the outside again? He does. Great ride from Alfie BOWTELL to get round the back of Cam Heeps. Chris Harris just changing tact a little bit and looking up the inside, but Cam Heeps again around the outside of Alfie BOWTELL. Alfie looking to chop the corner off and come straight back up the inside. No, he's nowhere near it. Cameron Heeps now. Whoa, Cam's gone in big and down he's come. Really uncomfortable. They've started the last lap. I think that's going to be a 3-3 award. But Cam just went in really hot there. He'd almost done the work, and he was then looking, quick and chasing Chris Harris. He just went in, got a bit untidy going into turn 3, and just almost locked up on himself. And down he went. So he's currently down at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll just wait till Cam gets up. We don't want to show a replay until we know the riders are okay. That's our way. This is the way I think with BSN and most streams over here. Still down looking a bit uncomfortable. Sam Masters did check in on him. But again, terrific heat. On the way back. So hopefully he's okay. Paramedics are just with him at the moment. Just looked untidy. Really kind of uncomfortable, untidy off. So yeah, it's going to be awarded. It'll be a win for Sam Masters. Second for Chris Harris. Third for Alfie BOWTELL. And a fallen exclusion for Cam Heeps. 44, 34. Come on, I've already filled my program in. I need that to change. I don't like scrubbing my program out. There's the Gladiators faithful. Let's just hope the camera's all right. Oh, I need that scoreboard to change. I'll ruin my program. I don't like scribbling bits out in my program. I'm sure they've announced the 3-3 in that one. Sam Masters had crossed the start-finish line for for lap number 4 as the red lights came on. So yeah, Cam's on his feet. That's great news. Really uncomfortable looking fall. They're just taking their time with Cam. I hope that's not a collarbone. Genuinely hope that's not a collarbone, the way he's holding his arms there. He's lurking in a lot of discomfort. It's such a shame. Did brilliantly to get up. So Alfie BOWTELL did really well to get back over the top of Cam there. But just watch Cam here. Goes in big, fast, perfect line. That's lovely. And he was just quick. He was carrying so much speed here, and he started to reel Bomber in second place. Just watch, he comes in here really hot. Oh, you could just see him locking up there, yeah, and comes down and really uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. Hopefully it's nothing more than a bit of discomfort. Scoreboard still hasn't changed. Jonas KNUDSEN. Jordan behind him as well, yeah, just walking in with him. Yeah, that's Dan Gilkes in red there, so they're out for heat 14, so it was a 3-3. Sam Masters took the win, Chris Harris second, Alfie BOWTELL third. And Cam Heeps excluded after the fall. There we go. Sam Masters, Chris Harris, Alfie BOWTELL, Cameron Heeps, 3-3 scoreline. Keeps it a 10-point gap, 44-34. And again, another heat with something to talk about. If you've bought this stream, you've bought very well tonight, because this has been an excellent meeting, some brilliant racing. Every heat's had something to offer. And I don't think this heat and the next one's going to be any different. Dan Gilkes, plenty to talk about with Dan earlier on. And him and his teammate are coming together. McDermott, he looks superb tonight, I have to say. So here we go. AW Mob, sponsors of heat number 14. Mitch McDermott, 6+1 for him. He's off the inside in blue for Oxford. Joe Thompson, 4 points for him so far. He's going to be in white off of gate number 2. Dan Gilkes, 4+1. He's going to be in red off of gate number 3. And Ben Trigger, 3 points for him. He's going to be in yellow off of gate 4 for Plymouth. So it's a 10-point gap. The aggregate's done. The meeting essentially is all but done. But we've seen some excellent racing tonight. Really enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it at home. Terrific spectacle. And with 2 heats to go. Nothing to say, we won't get 2 more heats of that same quality. So 2 heats to go. Cracking meeting so far. Bit of controversy surrounding Dan in that last one. Let's see if he can put that right for the team now and get a win. Mitch McDermott looked really quick, really unlucky in his last one as well, when he was on the end of a 5-1 to Chris Harris and Alfie BOWTELL. Let's see what heat 14 gives us. Away they go, and it's a great start from the Gladiators pair. Keep an eye on Ben Trigger, he's got the right line. Really get a nice long straight. No, he can't make that work. Whoa, Mitch McDermott's carrying loads of speed as he did in the last one. Dan Gilkes going big around the outside of Mitch McDermott into second place. Joe Thompson, he's got the lead. Ben Trigger up the inside. Will Mitch McDermott repay the favour around the outside going into 3 and 4? Again, another close heat this one. Whoa, Mitch McDermott collects the back of the bag. Down he comes. He's not going to get up from that one for the minute. Really uncomfortable. Lights come on. Red lights come on. Wowzers. We are going the course with this one tonight, everyone. Just looked a bit uncomfortable for Mitch there. Just kissed the bottom of the fence. He was out quite really wide. Went in a bit too deep. Again, it was looking like he's out there. Dan Gilkes on the line that he wants to be on. There you can just see he's out in that really deep stuff. Lifts, spins. It's really uncomfortable the way that left leg goes underneath. But he's okay, he's up. That's the most important thing. But we are going to see a rerun of that one. That won't be awarded. There's a race on. I think this meeting has given us everything we could possibly want. He's looked really quick though, Mitch McDermott. I know he's been unfortunate his last couple of rides with that third and then that off then, but he's looked really quick and on the pace and riding the right lines as well. It's like he's ridden here for years. He's riding the right line to get the grip, to get the runs. He's obviously listening and learning from others in the pits and racing that he's seen. But unfortunately he will be excluded from this one. Third exclusion for the Cheetahs tonight. Just walking back to the pits there, so we'll just have a little break once I imagine once Mitch is off track. We'll be back out for the rerun. Gate stats. 3 off the inside, 4, 3, 3. Really even points as well. Spread, more points coming from the inside 2 gates, but again across the board tends to be that way. You can see the ruts there really developing on 1, 2 and 3. The riders tend to start a little bit wider on 4, which is why you don't necessarily see the ruts building up as much. Just watching Mitch come in. Dan Gilkes is still on track. The Plymouth boys have gone in, but that won't be awarded. That will be a rerun. Jake Barrett, my good man, he's at home watching. And Georgina, hello, big shout out for you, Georgina, watching at home. What would you rather be doing on a night than watching Speedway? Hope you guys are enjoying it. Do miss my hugs, Jake, when you're not here. Walk down pit lane, you're not there. I don't hug many men. There we go, the boys are coming back out. Let's change the subject. Georgina, Jake, good to have you watching, guys. We've got 2 heats to go. Well, 2 heats, we might have another rerun. This meeting has given us everything tonight. Really enjoyable. Chris Harris has been in excellent form for the away side. Superb guest. But there's a couple of solid second places in amongst all that for their riders as well. it's only a 10-point gap, but 10 points is enough for the home side. There's Joe Thompson on the bike. Dad Dan Thompson behind, and brother Dan Thompson on the left. Dan's in incredible form this year, isn't he? Anybody that's seen him live, he just looks like he's really found something this year. And he's riding absolutely brilliantly. We kind of saw it on BSN when he was racing over in the US. He looked terrific over there, pre-season so to speak, and he's just carried that on, and he's looking the real deal this year. And Ipswich have in the Premiership have picked brilliantly with their team anyway, bringing Tom Brennan in. But Dan could be that real trump card for them because he's scoring double-figure heat leader points. All right, here we go then. Let's try again. Heat number 14. Dan Gilkes will run solo in this one. No Mitch McDermott off the inside. He's excluded as the cause of the stoppage. First time of asking. Joe Thompson, he's going to be in white. He was lead in the heat. He's going to be off of gate number 2 for Plymouth. Dan Gilkes, red, gate number 3. Ben Trigger, yellow, off of gate number 4. If all these boys finish the 4 laps, they'll all get some points. Who will take the win? To be honest, Ben Trigger can make the gate off the 4 and get over the top of the other 2. There's everything that says he can win this heat. But Joe looked fast in the last one, and Dan, he's putting his back wheel out there. Dan's racing the dirt. Afraid to put his back wheel out there into that grippy stuff. 20 seconds and wheel tapes up. AW Mobs Building Supplies, they sponsor heat number 14 here for the Oxford Cheetahs. Let's see what happens. Thompson, Trigger, Gilkes. Tapes up on heat number 14, and it's Thompson again. Dan Gilkes, will he get that run around the outside? Ben Trigger looking fast as well. Dan Thompson, he's out front. Joe Thompson, he's out front. Dan Gilkes in second, looking for a run at the inside of Joe Thompson. Can't make it work. Joe's out front. Dan Gilkes second. He's looking fast though, down in second place. Ben Trigger, he's not a million miles away in third either. This one's going to go the distance, a bit like every other heat we've had. Dan Gilkes turns up the inside. Ben Trigger's really close to his back wheel though. Joe Thompson, he's still holding that lead. Dan Gilkes is really fast in second place. All 3 riders blanket over them. Really close as we come down the home straight into lap 4. What can Dan Gilkes do? He's splitting the Gladiators. Can he get up into the lead? Has he gone too big? He's caught grip off the bottom of the fence. Keeps him in second place, but that might have just put pay to his challenge. He's looking to run up the inside. Oh, that's really close there. Joe Thompson with the win. Dan Gilkes in second. Ben Trigger very close to catching the back wheel there of Dan Gilkes on that last corner. Thankfully he didn't. And it is a heat advantage to the away side. Joe Thompson with his first win of the evening. Ben Trigger picks up another point. That takes it to 46 points, so the win for the home side. Joe Thompson takes the plaudits, he takes the win, 3 points for him. Dan Gilkes battling second place, didn't give up for the full 4 laps, and Ben Trigger was not a million miles away in third either. So it was a 4-2 to the Plymouth Gladiators in that one. 46-38 is the progressive score. The meeting has been won, but a good win there for Joe Thompson. And with 1 heat to go, I feel like I need to sit down. You can see it from the tapes. It was a close race. All 3 riders for 4 laps, all on top of each other. Joe Thompson didn't let the lead slip. I might have called him Dan Thompson there if I did Joe. You have to expect that. Sorry. Dan Gilkes didn't help me by leading in the race either. So that was the running order for the entire race. Joe Thompson out front, Dan Gilkes second, Ben Trigger third, but they were battling and scrapping for the entire 4 laps. And again, another corker of a race. This has been one of the best meetings I've seen for a while. Action in every heat, something to shout about, something for me to lose my voice to. Yeah, Ben Trigger got very close to Dan Gilkes on a couple of occasions. When Dan was trying a different line, maybe trying to cut back up the inside, Ben Trigger was always on the pace. It looks to drift, like how far he looks away there from Dan. And then come the last turn, Almost collected his back wheel. Dan out in the heavy stuff. I thought Dan might lose it there. He just kisses the bottom of the fence. And then here just straightens up to try and get the run. And Bentrick got really close to that back wheel. Thankfully he didn't collect him. Wayne Parker there on the left, spanning for Jonas KNUDSEN this season. Good friend of mine, Wayne. Rode here for the Cheetahs. For the swinging sprockets. There's a blue helmet colour. Jonas probably deserves Heat 15, I would have thought. And if he's been given that, then that's fair play to him. There's Sam Masters' bike. You know he's going to be in red. Paul doing the work on the camera there. So I guess there's 3 for the away side. Chris Harris, Alfie BOWTELL and Joe Thompson all could get the pick. Looks like it's going to be Alfie in white and Harris in yellow. I was about to say sorry for the silence, but you're probably happy to have silence from my voice for a few seconds. So look, there's really where do you go with that? You know, 3, 5, 3 and 3. Every gate giving us winners tonight, whether it's from the front or the back. Points, most of the points coming from gate number 2. But again, points spread across the gates. And in Sam Masters, we've got a man who's on a maximum. He got a maximum down at Plymouth in the Plymouth leg of this meeting. He's currently on 12 points. Jonas KNUDSEN. He's on 8 paid 10. Alfie BOWTELL, a couple of solid paid second places for him. He's on 6 paid 8. And Chris Harris, 4 wins in there. Second and a third, he's on 15. So he's going to have 7 heats tonight, Chris. No problem for a man of his young years. Too easy. So 1 more heat to go, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for buying the stream, supporting Oxford Speedway, supporting British Speedway by buying the stream. If you're watching it from a dodgy link, we'll find you and we'll have you. Please buy the stream, do the right thing. It's copyrighted Oxford TV, Oxford Speedway. And we have a superb Heat 15 ahead of us. No pressure on these 4 to give us an exciting heat. Every other heat has given me an exciting heat. So don't let me down now. No surprise to see Chris. Wonder whether they might have... I've just rested Chris from this one, being the guest, and given Joe Thompson the Heat 15. They can't get the aggregate point, they can't win on the night. So I possibly, if I was Garry May, I might have given Joe Thompson the ride as my home rider. There we go. I'm not the team manager, I'm just going to tell you. Garry May, you can pick who you want, Garry. So here we go then. Big Heat 15 to finish off the night. Alfie BOWTELL, he's going to buy off the inside in white for the Plymouth Gladiators. 4 bonus points for Alfie tonight. Sam Masters unbeaten so far. He's going to be in red off of gate number 2. Chris Harris, 15 points from his 6 rides. He's going to be in yellow off of gate number 3. And Jonas KNUDSEN, excellent performance from him tonight. 8 paid 10. He's going to be in blue off of the outside for Oxford. Cab Direct, they are our sponsors of this BSN Heat number 15. BSN Series, Heat number 15. This is going to take Oxford. So it basically means we've got a shootout to win the group between Oxford and Paul. That meeting next week down at Wimborne Road. But there's always that second place to go for as well. As we said earlier in the show, the 3 group winners, they'll all go straight into the semis, and then the side best placed in second place of the 3 groups, they will take that 4th semi-final spot as well. Paul have won the BSN Series the last 2 years, the only 2 years we've been running it. Can they make it a hat-trick of wins this year? Or will Oxford? There's Barney Kennett. There you go, Barney, we can see you. Hey. Nice one, Barney. Barney Kennett, legend. Social gathering expertise of Barney Kennett. Gets riders together, gets groups of people together. Great fun to be around. Right, let's concentrate. We've got 1 more heat. Cab Direct sponsors Heat 15. Sam Masters, Jonas KNUDSEN, Alfie BOWTELL, Chris Harris. Come on, fellas, give us 1 more massive heat. Tapes up and away we go on 15, and Sam Masters, as he's done all night, has made a blinder. Will Jonas KNUDSEN join him? Yeah, he's round the outside of Chris Harris into second. Chris goes straight for that outside line and goes right round the outside of Jonas. Whoa, Alfie almost back up the inside of Jonas as well, but Jonas KNUDSEN holds on to that third place. He's looking to move back up the inside of Chris Harris. Chris was always going to make that move early. You saw him switch from inside to outside, but Jonas is quick. He's on the back wheel of Chris Harris here. Sam Masters, he looks like he's going to get a maximum. He looks like he's going to go, but Jonas KNUDSEN, that's a great line. Will Chris Harris have the speed to repay the favour? Jonas KNUDSEN, will he lock up and come back up the inside again? He's trying. Will he get the run up into turn number 1? No. Chris Harris back over the top. Jonas will keep on the gas. We've got 2 big corners to go here. Has Chris Harris done enough? Yes, he has. Sam Masters, excellent maximum from him. Chris Harris takes second place from Jonas KNUDSEN. Alfie BOWTELL, spectator at the back, enjoying all the action. Hats off Sam Masters, 15-point immaculate performance from him. 15-point maximum. Jonas KNUDSEN, third place in that one. Chris Harris, giving us something to cheer about, something to talk about. 50-40. Not that any of you will believe me, but in the pits earlier on I did say to a couple of people it'll be Oxford by 10. That was what I thought, and so it proved. Sam Masters with the winning 15. Chris Harris with a battle in second over Jonas KNUDSEN. Alfie BOWTELL at the back. 4-2 to Oxford. That makes the final score this evening. 50 points to the home side, Oxford. 40 points for the away side, the Plymouth Gladiators. And what an exceptional meeting. Hats off to every rider. Back wheel from Jonas KNUDSEN, he's enjoyed himself. Sam Masters has been, as we've said, immaculate. Chris Harris has been entertaining, as he always is. Pyrotechnics just giving us a few more little sparks and fireworks in the middle. Right, let's go top to bottom on the scores then. Plymouth Gladiators, Chris Harris, 17 points. What a guest. Excellent performance. Loads of entertainment from him. Alfie BOWTELL worked his socks off in that number 2 spot. Always a tough position. Paid 10 points from him. Mitchell Cluff, yeah, he got a second place in there and a third 3 points from his 4 rides. Joe Thompson, a good win to finish his night. Leaves him with 7 points from his 5 rides. Ben Barker obviously not here this evening. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, 3+1 for him. From his 2 rides completed, really fell in his last one. And Ben Trigger, 4 points from his reserve position. For the home side, Sam Masters, untouched, 15-point maximum. Excellent performance. Jonas KNUDSEN, wonderful from him, 9+2 from that number 2 position. Jordan Jenkins, 7 points. Bit of controversy in the middle there when he's excluded. Coming together with his teammate, Dan Gilkes, who got 3 second places. One of them paid, 6+1 for him. Cameron Heeps, untidy crash in his last ride, 4 points from his 3 rides that he finished. Mitch McDermott, similar story, 6+1 for him from his first 3 rides and then excluding his last one. And Luke Killeen in the mix all night, eventful night for him, 3+1 down there at number 7. Whew, I'm shattered. 50-40 to Oxford. What an excellent meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. 98-81, so Oxford take that aggregate point as well. That sets up this group for a shootout between Poole and Oxford to win the group. From everybody here, Rob, Paul, Andy, myself, thank you very much for watching, paying for the stream, enjoying the stream. Wonderful evening of Speedway. My name's Lee Kilby. I've really enjoyed bringing you that tonight. I'm shattered. That was exciting and excellent. Hats off to all the riders tonight for giving us a superb meeting. Keep your eyes on streams, whether it's ours, any other team up and down the country. Get your Speedway fix if you can't get to track. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon on Oxford TV. Good night.